We're gonna take it slow tonight. Everybody want to know about the money. That's all everybody want to know about is the money. So since you want to know about the money, we're gonna talk about the money. Don't nobody want to know about the fundamentals. Everybody want a quick way to $1 million. So I'm gonna give you a quick way to. I'm gonna give you a way to $1 million, and 99% of y'all ain't gonna get to it anyway. But we're gonna talk about it tonight. Let's go. And when I said you're not gonna get to it, I meant it because a lot of y'all not gonna do the work. You're not gonna do the work, doggy. Some of y'all feelings might get hurt too. Let's get them likes up. Man, we need to get them likes up. We're going to let the room build up. We're going to let the room build up. I'm taking it slow tonight. I'm taking it slow tonight. I'm going to play that back. I need the room to build up. Like I said, everybody want to know where the money at. All I hear is $1 million this, $1 million that. Don't nobody want to do the work. So I'm going to tell you what it takes to make $1 million in your box truck business. And like I said, 99.8% of y'all ain't going to see it because you're not going to do the work. It is what it is. Get mad, throw a temper tantrum, unsubscribe. It is what it is. Get the likes up though. I'm taking it slow. I said I'm taking it slow. I ain't rushing to it tonight. All this damn game I've been giving for 15 months, I can't even get people to hit the like button, so you're gonna have to wait. I could be at the beach right now. I said I could be at the beach right now. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. I'm gonna let the beat ride out. I'm gonna start slow. Thursday night. Welcome back to another Thursday night. Hit that like button as you come in. Let me know where you are checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. Thursday night. Let me know where you are checking in from. All right, let's see what we got, and we're going to get straight to it. Shout out to Interstate Screw in the building. Hold on. We want to switch that up. MD from Detroit representing. We got Nikila Ernest checking in from Facebook. Hold on, let me move that banner. We got Nikila Ernest checking in from Facebook. I don't think I ever seen you on the live stream before, but appreciate you checking in. Most in the building. What's going on, Most? We got Sacramento in the building. It's D Walk is in the building. Shout out to Cleveland. Shout out to everybody watching from Cleveland. Interstate Screw in the building. You sounding a little aggressive tonight, bro. Am I? I'm not sounding aggressive. I'm just being honest. Honesty. If honest sounds like aggressive, then man, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. You heard what Rob said. Maybe I just been too nice. Maybe I haven't applied enough pressure. I don't see enough good results. I see a lot of stagnation, a lot of complaining still. But we're going to talk about it tonight because everybody loves throwing around this $1 million. A lot of y'all don't know what it takes to get to $1 million. A lot of y'all don't have what it takes to get to $1 million. And if the shoe fits, wear it. And if it don't fit, then don't be offended by it. Some people may take this as motivation. See, a lot of people will tell y'all how to make money and certain amounts of money in this space that haven't made that type of money in this space. They haven't grossed that type of money in this space. Some people will throw those numbers around and they've never even driven a box truck in this space. And then you go follow behind these characters and these false dreams and these role played scenarios, and you invest all your money. You pull money out your 401k and your children's college tuition, and then you go listen to these guys, and it doesn't work out. Then you come to me crying. And then you don't see that sympathy from me because I said, well, man, that was a business decision you made. You need to pick up the pieces and keep moving. That was a bad business decision you made. Well, man, I believed in this person. Okay, well, you believed it. Okay, look at it like this. Your business hired a consulting firm or consultant. You hired the wrong consultant. Businesses hire consultants and consulting firms every single day. The biggest business, Amazon, IBM, Apple, you name them. They all have consulting firms that they hire, that they consult with. But they do their due diligence on the consulting agencies they hire and the consultants they hire. You just hired the wrong consultant. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what it takes to make $1 million in the box truck space. And we're talking about gross. We're not talking about net. We're talking about gross. So come on in, hit that like button. It's not aggressive. It's just, it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to DH Augusta, Georgia in the building. What else we got? Screw when you put out so much for free and people can't even hit the likes. It's got to be that way sometimes. It's definitely got to be that way sometimes. And, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, cutting live short, all that. Like, I can't, you know, if I'm on here 2.5 hours and then I look at 400, 500 people that came through here and it's not at least 100 likes, you know, that's kind of offensive to me. So I'm not going to keep putting out this information and people taking the information and running with it and not even hitting the like button. How do I know people running with it? Because people say, you know what, Mark, my homie, you know, watches your channel too, and they're not doing OTR. They watch your content and they transition to curbside. Well, what's their name? Well, how come I never seen them in the chat? Well, if you're not going to comment in the chat, at least hit the like button. people come through and they get the sauce and they don't even hit the like button. I haven't charged nobody for nothing. You got people up here begging for super chats. I'm just asking for a like. You dig what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But everybody want to talk about the money, so we're going to talk about the money. It is what it is. Shout out to Kobe Curry, Mark Brown. So when I get my box truck on your team, Mark, what's good? Mark Pensacola in the building. Been missing the lies. I'm glad you was able to check this one out. Houston, Texas in the building. Georgia in the building. Detroit in the building. VA, OTR Ray in the building. Jersey in the building. Bro, you dropping fire. I love you, man. But none of your recommendations are in Ohio. Need some final mile direction for Ohio. I don't know which recommendations you're talking about. Somebody hit me today about calling. A few people hit me today. I drop a video today. Obviously, the video does numbers right because I'm talking about money. Whenever I do videos that are educating you how to get to the money, those videos don't do numbers. But when I talk about the money or I put money in something, it does numbers. You're not going to make money if you don't have the fundamentals on how to make money. And that's why so many people are struggling, because they watch the wrong content. I can tell you where the money is at, but if you don't know how to apply yourself, run a contract to be efficient, to keep your costs down, to run that contract successfully so that you can scale the business, it doesn't matter anyway. But we're going to talk about all that tonight. Long Island in the building. Rob, what up? Rob is in the building. Rob is someone that worked for me. And he took my blueprint just from watching me, and he made $250,000 his first year. So you got somebody that knows how to make the money, that's made the money, just not talking about it, actually's done it. People have solidified it. And yet and still I got people complaining about stuff that I told them what to do a year ago, but they still doing the same thing that they were complaining about in October and November. But we're going to talk about it. I'm just letting it build up. Final mile for felons. See, that I don't know if you watch the content. If you watch my content, 98% of people who work for me are felons. I had a felon that worked for me, a 3-time felon that's been on the channel twice in the past 2 weeks. He's in the chat right now. That's what I'm saying. People watch the content that jumps out at them instead of watching the content that really matters. It all matters, but you have to watch it all collectively. You got a 3-time felon that's in this chat right now that worked for me. So, of course, you could do final mile for felons. Actually, he's right above you. The person who commented right above you. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. RXO reached out to me for final mile, but I'm not interested in big and bulky. Appliance installation been gone for a minute. ATL in the building. A lot of people been gone for a minute, but they back tonight because we talking about this money. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you 3 ways. I'm going to give you 3 things that it takes to get to the money with a bunch of stuff in between. And like I said, I'm going to give it to you, but it ain't going to matter because you're not going to do it anyway, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So it is what it is. The recommendation for anything in Ohio that is final mile, white glove, or curbside. So we're going to talk about it. Shout out to everybody in the building. What up? Come on in. All right, so let's get to it. We got 44 people in the room. Everybody want to know about $1 million. What does it take to make $1 million in your box truck business? And I'm going to tell you, like I said, I'm going to tell you what it takes, but it don't matter because you're not going to do it anyway. All right, so let's talk about it though. But before we do that, I want to show y'all something. I want to break something down because I think a lot of y'all listen to people like this. And shout out to this person. You know what I'm saying? But I want to watch the first 2 minutes of this, and I want to use that as a prerequisite of what I'm going to get into tonight. All right, so let's do this. Let me share my screen because some people probably haven't seen this. Hold on, let me share my screen. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let me move this to this screen over there. Let me put this up here. Let me share this screen here, and let me move this out the way. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch this real quick. Let's dissect
On YouTube. Now, today we're gonna be talking about the box truck business and tell you how much money you can make from box trucks. Now, transportation business is a gold mine, man. Transportation is, people just need to get around, period. You always need to go here, you need to go there.
And shout out to Bandman Cabo and shout out to Big Folks. But we got to break down some misinformation that I think a lot of people have taken heed to and still are taking heed to. But shout out to Bandman, shout out to Big Folks.
You need to move this, you need to move that, you need to take this from there to there to here, you know what I mean? So transportation is a moneymaker. You always remember that. Now, box truck is guaranteed to make you at the least $1 million a year.
Cap. That's cap. But a lot of people believe that because he said it in this video. This video is on its way to damn near 1 million views. And I've seen other people say that. Can you make $1 million in a box truck? Yeah, you can. Can one box truck make you $1 million? Hell no. Hell no. Especially for you guys that are running Amazon and you guys that are running OTR. No. No, you're going to need a multitude of trucks to make $1 million. You can make it easier doing final mile than you can with Amazon, and then you can with OTR middle mile. All right, you can. All right, you can make it, but you're going to have to do the lanes that require work. The lanes that require work. But like he said, you're guaranteed to make $1 million with a box truck. That's cap. All right.
By securing contracts. I'm talking about by just moving people, period. You could just get into any business. Somebody is always moving out. Somebody is always moving in.
Now that's true. Somebody is always moving out and somebody is always moving in. And I talk about that all the time.
Always needs something moved. Always. Like literally. And if you look at the prices in the area of what people charge, you can always go down to $100, you know what I mean? Even $200, you know what I mean? Like some.
Now listen to that. If you can go down $100 or you can go down to $200, first of all, that doesn't even make sense. If you follow me, I tell you, you charge by the hour for moves. $100 an hour is the minimum you would charge for 2 men, labor, $100 an hour. So there's no going down or none of that stuff. You charge $100 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. If the job is 2 hours and you charge $100 an hour with a 2-hour minimum, that's $200. And you listen to me starting out, you charge a $100 truck fee, that's $300. If you go down $100, you're making $200. It doesn't make sense. $300 for a standard 2-hour move is already cheap enough. Call 2 men in a truck and see what they charge you for 2 hours. Call 2 men in the truck and see what you're going to pay for 2 hours for 2 guys with 2 men in the truck. So there is no going down. None of this stuff makes sense. None of it makes sense.
I might charge $500. You know, you can go to $350, you know, just for one move. That's in one single move.
See how he's saying it so matter-of-factly? He doesn't know. He made this video in the height of the pandemic when box truck business was trending on Google Trends, and you had all those other opportunists that took advantage of the box truck space, people getting into the box truck business with their PPP money and made a bag, not knowing, never driven a truck. Never driven a truck. None of this makes sense, but this video is still trending and people are still following this information.
Well, imagine if you woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning and did like 10 moves. You know what I'm saying?
That's cap. You will never do 10 moves in a day. First of all, if you woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's too late. If you're running a moving business, your first move should be starting at 7 or 8. If you're just waking up, you're damn sure not going to do 10 moves. It takes about 2 to 4 hours to do a 1-bedroom apartment move. Then you have travel time between each move. Even if your moves are in high density, they're in like they're all within 5 miles apart. If your first job starts at 8 and you're done with that at 10, and your second job starts sometime between 12 and 2, all right, and then your third job starts sometime between 2 and 4, You're not going to be done with the third job until between 4 and 6. And that's if all your jobs are 2 hours. You have to consider travel time in between. You got to stop and get something to eat, some water. There's no way you're going to do 10 moves in a day. The most moves I've done in a day was about 5 or 6 moves. And I was out way past midnight. You're not going to do 10 moves a day. All right. A lot of this is cap.
All the way to nighttime. That's a bag a day. So, you know, definitely want to talk about box trucks, man. Definitely want to put y'all on game about that. A lot of people that I know, you know, they got about 5-10 box trucks and they making a whole lot of money, you know, and a lot of companies are getting taxed because as a company, people are trying to overly play their part. So, like, let's say if you come
Now this part is hilarious. Just the way he's breaking it down, this shit don't even make sense.
my company and you know you notice that I'm a company, but you want to overcharge me because I'm a company because you work for another company. So if you got a personal box truck and you know your truck's similar to the truck that I was working with through the company and you willing to take over half the cut that I was paying them, then I'm most likely I'm gonna go to you. You know what I mean? Everything is
What? I didn't understand nothing he just said. None of that shit made sense to me. All right, so I'm done with that. Let me get up off of that. I'm done with that. All right, so a lot of people are believing that, and it's not just him. It's creators in this space on a way smaller scale, but maybe on a larger stage, just in this tight knit community that are saying similar things. Maybe not as outrageous as what he's saying, but people that know he's from here. He's from my city. I know how he gets down. He's chasing the bag. But there's going to be a lot of gullible people that are going to believe that, and some of these other content creators that are out here. And this video is going to circulate. I want people to understand what it really takes to even just make it in this business, let alone make $1 million. But we're going to talk about $1 million since that's what everybody want to know. I'm going to tell you what it takes. And like I said, it ain't going to matter because a lot of y'all not going to do it anyway. All right, so let's pull up this PDF. So I can hit my talking points. $1 million a year in a box truck. Where's my PDF slideshow? All right, let's get straight to it. All right, first I want to set some prerequisites. Because you're going to need these prerequisites in order to even see $1 million gross. All right. The first thing, if you're not willing to do what it takes, don't waste your time. All right. You know, if you're not willing to give the business your all, if you're not willing to sacrifice, don't waste your time. All right. You can start your business, but you need to set your goals down a little bit. To gross $1 million takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. Everybody's situation is different. You know, everybody's situation is different. All right. So you may have a family. If you have a family, there's going to be some times where you're not going to be home. You're going to have to work late to make sure your business runs. You may have a guy call off. You may have a guy come to work throughout the day and get injured 3/4 of the way through his day, and you may have dinner planned with your family. This crew is technically would still be out, but you're going to go to dinner because you're the business owner, right? You moving and shaking how you want to move and shake. But if this guy gets injured and the driver calls you, or if the driver gets injured and the helper calls you, look, the so-and-so got injured, then it's your job to stop what you're doing, drive to wherever they're at, and finish that route. Some of y'all not going to want to do that. Some of y'all are not going to want to stop what you're doing 3/4 of the way through the day, gear up, drive to wherever they're at, might be 50, 60 miles out. They might be on a job. Person might have got injured taking something up the stairs. They may be on the first landing and you got a goddamn dresser sitting on the landing. You can't tell him, oh, well, you know what? All right, well, we have to figure it out tomorrow. No, you got a customer right there that bought and ordered a dresser. Halfway up the stairs, he pulled his back. It's your job now to get up, stop what you're doing, gear up, tell the family, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna order pizza. I'm gonna order Pizza Hut. I gotta go drive 50 miles out to take a dresser up to a bedroom, and then I gotta follow the truck the next 4 stops because the driver is hurt. So he's just gonna sit on the truck while I go finish the rest of this route. I'm just gonna have to follow the truck. Some of y'all ain't gonna be willing to do that. I've had to do that. I've had to stop what I'm doing 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Summertime, busy moving season. Something happens, a family emergency, somebody got to leave, somebody get injured. And I've had to stop. If I didn't have another truck that was in the area or a truck that might have been done that was already on its way back to the yard, and I called them, I can only ask them. I can't make nobody do anything. More times than not, when I would call another crew, yo, truck number 1 need help, or truck number 3 need help. More times than not, they would oblige. Sometimes they didn't. And if I couldn't get another crew to go aid and assist another crew that might be strung up, I had to go do it. I'm not going to leave a crew out there. Why? Because I understand what's going to happen the next day. They're going to muscle it up and do what it got to take. If it's a 2-man crew and one person got injured, then somebody got to go. If it's a 3-man crew and something happened, there's still 2 guys. But at the end of the day, one of those guys not going to show up. The guy who's injured is definitely not showing up. And if you lower the morale by not sending somebody or coming yourself, then they're going to say, well, man, we were out late because we were short of man, so we didn't get done till 1, 2 in the morning. So when you need them at 8, they're not going to show up. But you know what drives morale? When you stop what you're doing, because they know you doing something other than that. And then you come to meet them where they're at, and you hop on that truck, and you help them finish that move. Shows a lot of character in you as a business owner. It shows you're willing to sacrifice for the betterment of your business. I walked out on dinner dates, all type of shit, because I had to. Customers see that. They write that in the review. Guy got injured. They sent another guy to help. They don't know I'm the owner. I would always tell my workers, and here's another secret for you. Here's another secret. Never tell customers if you're the owner and you're at scale when you show up on a job, especially if something happened. Because if they know you're the owner, they're going to want something from you. Just act like a regular person. We got 56 people in here. We only got 41 likes. We need to get those likes up. We need to get them likes up, man. We need to get them likes up. We need to get them likes up, man. Them likes got to match. I need them. Get them likes up, man. We just getting started. I still got a lot to talk about, but I'm not finna keep talking if people don't hit the like button. For real. You got 2 options. You could leave or you could hit the like button. It is what it is. It don't make me no never mind neither way. I'm one of the only ones really giving people real information for them to make money with experience. I'm not finna sit up here and keep putting out this content and people running off and you can't even hit the like button. So let's get the like button. You got 2 options. You can hit the like button and you can leave. It don't make me no difference either way. I did it already. I got the sauce that you need. So if you want it, hit the like button. Y'all listen to people that tell y'all they never even driven a box truck, but they can tell you how to make $1 million? You gotta be kidding me. Right, at least I'm giving you some fire music to listen to until you get the likes up. I might play country western the next time. we gotta keep them likes up, man. This it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of preparation to put this stuff together. All right. So back to what I was saying, doing what it takes. You have to be willing to sacrifice. It's your business. It's not nobody else's business. No one is going to build that business for you. No one's going to take you to the promised land. It's up to you to take yourself to that promised land. It's up to you. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. Because I could sit up here and talk about, if you're not willing to do what it takes, I could talk about this all night. I can give you many scenarios. I can give you many examples of situations I've been in. I'm telling you, I could talk about this prerequisite all night. All right, be honest with yourself. Let me move me out the way so people can see. Be honest with yourself. If you don't have the money or the credit, you have to start at the very bottom. And I put very there for a reason. Everybody got to start at the bottom. The people who try to start at the top are the people who fail the quickest. The people who start at the top are the people who fail the quickest. But if you come in with a little money, a little credit, you're starting at the bottom. But the people who have no money and no credit, you got to start at the very bottom. You'll be surprised how many people come to me and say, man, Mark, I want to start my box truck business, but man, my credit messed up. I ain't got no money, man. How should I go about it? What do you mean? How should you go about it? You got to get your credit right and you need to get your bread up. But man, so-and-so, listen, don't tell me what so-and-so said. Stop coming to me with that bullshit for a bullshit miracle, because I don't have one. I don't have a miracle for you. If you don't have credit and you don't have bread, the only thing it's going to take for you to start a box truck business is a miracle, and I don't have one for you. You got to have credit. You got to have bread. Because you need equipment, whether you rent the equipment, whether you buy the equipment, it takes money. And if you don't have money, but you have credit, then you could use that. But if you don't have neither, then you have to start from the very bottom. Mark, what do you mean the very bottom? You have to utilize what you have. You have to utilize what you have to get you to where you want to get to. When I started in a pickup truck. I already had a pickup truck, and it wasn't even a pickup truck that you should be hauling stuff in. I had a Chevy Avalanche. A Chevy Avalanche doesn't have a full bed. It does not have a full bed like a Silverado or a F-150 or a Ram. It was deemed at that time as a luxury pickup truck, the equivalent to an Escalade EXT. It did not have a full bed. I made the best out of that Chevy Avalanche. I made that Chevy Avalanche work. I made it work for me. I made so much money in that damn Avalanche, it's pathetic. I started off doing single deliveries, went from there to people calling me, well, man, I see you got a pickup truck, but I don't have that much stuff. It's just a dorm. Everything should fit in the pickup truck. I moved the stuff here in my dad's pickup truck. Started doing little small dorm moves. Then people started calling me for 1 bedrooms. My marketing always said pickup truck, guy with a pickup truck. We'll move your small items with a pickup truck. Man, I got a 1 bedroom, but I don't have that much stuff. Whatever don't fit, I'll just toss it. Why were those people calling me? Because they didn't have the money to pay a traditional mover. I would strap the mattress to the top of the roof, the hood of the damn truck. I would put the box spring on top so when the wind hit it, that mattress wouldn't flap up in the air. So you put the box spring on top. You come with the ratchet straps, ratchet through the window, ratchet it down. So now I got the whole cargo area for boxes and miscellaneous stuff. Yeah, it would take time packing it. Had to play Tetris. But at the end of the day, me getting started, I didn't have the money or even the knowledge at that point to even know to go rent a truck. And even if I would have had the knowledge to go rent a truck, I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway because I didn't have the money. I used what I had. So if you don't have the credit, you don't have the money, you got to use what you have. If you have a car, right, you can go to companies like T-Force or companies like US Pack or companies like Spoke And they have routes you can do in your car. You're making money and you're learning the logistics business from a smaller scale. And then from there, you can save and work your way up. And then there's people who have a little money. They just have just enough. If you have just enough to get into this business, that's not enough. Let me repeat that. If you have just enough to get into this business, that's not enough. You need working capital. You need working capital. You need money to carry you over. At least 6 months. And if you don't have 6 months, at least 3 months. So you have to be honest with yourself. If you have 2 months, then you know what? Why don't you wait another 2 months till you scrape up enough money or save enough money to have 3 or 4 months? You got to be honest with yourself. Some people don't have no patience, no discipline. If you don't have the work ethic, you're not going to put in the work, and you want to jump the gun because you're not honest with yourself, then you're never going to build a business to $1 million, because these are principles that a person who is scaling up to $1 million has. Choose realistic goals. Everybody wants to come into the space talking about $1 million. I did a live stream a few weeks ago. I said, think small, earn big. Think small, earn big. Set small goals. When I grossed my first $1 million in the box truck business, I didn't even realize I was at $1 million. I knew it, but I didn't realize it. Well, Mark, how you didn't realize it? Because I was too busy working. We was doing the accounting. We were doing the numbers. I knew we were grossing 90 grand a month. But I was so entrenched into the business. When you're scaling up to those heights as far as money-wise, man, you're entrenched in the business. You're entrenched in the day-to-day. I got Genesis over there dealing with the paperwork and the money aspect, and I got my accounting firm out in Orland. Well, they weren't in Orland at the time. They were in Burbank still before they moved to Orland. Handling that. I seen the money coming in. I was spending the money, pushing it out, and doing the payroll, sending the payroll here, and approving this and approving that. But it really didn't dawn on me until my accountant told me, congratulations. You made your first $1 million. It didn't dawn on me. I knew it, but it didn't dawn on me. Because that wasn't my goal. My goal was just always to keep getting more trucks. I got off on trucks. I wanted more and more trucks. I would get off with just seeing chaos and confusion of trucks, just trucks everywhere. Trucks. The more trucks, the better. There was never a dollar amount. Money was already being made. I just wanted more trucks. So you have to set realistic goals. 1 truck, 2 truck, 3 truck, 4 truck. I'm just now getting into the game. I just barely scratching the surface with 1 truck, and I'm talking about $1 million. I booked a coaching session with Mark. Man, what's up, man? What's your goals? Man, I'm trying to get to $1 million. Whoa, slow down, buddy. Slow down, buddy. How's this business doing? Man, I'm still trying to, yeah, man, I'm struggling. So why are you talking to me about $1 million? You running in the red now. You talking about being in the black $1 million when you in the red. In the folder going on to the 5-figure thousands. You in the red 4 to 5-figure thousands, and you talking about $1 million. Your number one priority right now should be trying to figure out how to profit. So now I got to redirect your thinking. I got to unlearn you from whatever you was taught to you and then relearn you into a better way of thinking. And 9 times out of 10, these people come from other people that had them or were coaching them or mentoring them or whatever before they came to me. And then I have to give them the brutally honest truth. Your goals are too big. You chasing something that you far from reaching. Your priority right now shouldn't even be your priority. But your priority right now is trying to figure out how to come out of debt and to become profitable. And then we take baby steps. Choose realistic goals. Another prerequisite. Listen, hold on. 95% of the influencers in this space have no idea what they are talking about. Matter of fact, I made a mistake. I should have put in between what and they, I should have put what the hell they are talking about. So choose your coach wisely. 95% don't know what the hell they talking about. I set up on the 4th of July and some got recommended to me. I'm watching an interview with a box truck cargo van influencer and some other goofball who didn't know shit about this industry. And he's interviewing somebody who don't know shit about this industry. How are you going to interview somebody when you don't know about the industry? To even realize that the person that you're interviewing doesn't know anything about the industry. And these are the people who people go spend money with and follow. And the people in the comments saying, man, these guys don't have any idea what the hell they're talking about. So which goes back to what I talked about earlier. You're a business owner. You're coming into the business. One of your first major purchases, you're going to hire a consultant. Don't look at it as a coach, because when you write it off on your taxes, it's not going to come up as box truck coach or box truck mentor. It's going to come up as consulting. So that's the professional term that you use. You decide to hire a consultant for your box truck business. We're professionals here, right? You just hired the wrong coach or the wrong consultant. 95%. 95%. That's a big number. So in a cesspool, there's only about 5% that I think can really give you value. And that 5% doesn't just jump right at you. Why? Because the algorithm doesn't push them, right? A big part of that 95% is on Instagram. And this is like I said before. If you hire somebody that you found on Instagram, you're a goddamn fool. What the hell can somebody teach you on Instagram? Everybody knows that Instagram is full of cap. How can somebody teach you something about a business on an application that's designed for short form content? I got live streams that are 4 or 5 hours long. How can somebody lecture you on an application that's designed for short form content? If a person has 100,000 followers on Instagram and 10,000 followers on YouTube, a light bulb should pop in your head. So when you start your business, whatever business it is, when you hire a consultant firm, you have to do the same due diligence. That due diligence that you do, what I would hope you would do when you go out and you purchase your first truck, I would hope you follow my advice. If you're not mechanically inclined and you don't know what to look for, I would hope you would hire a diesel mechanic to tag along with you to diagnose those trucks as you're looking at them. Or if you're going to buy it from a independent owner operator, hiring a diesel mechanic to tag along with you to diagnose that truck before you invest your money into it. That's the type of due diligence you would do for that. So I would hope when you hire a consultant, you would do that similar due diligence. A real consultant is going to show you something before they sell you something. They're going to show you something before they can sell you something. If there's nothing they can show you to prove to you that their method is going to deem good results, then why would you hire them? You come to my channel, you see a plethora, a catalog of content that's teaching you something. So if I ever did decide to do a mentorship, and you would have a resource to go to and look at, man, he got this, that, he had, okay, boom, I like, okay, oh, this brother know what he's talking about. This brother know what he's talking about. But a lot of these cats, they don't show you nothing. You just taking their word. Or they talking slick. Or they showing you they rented Airbnb, or they Toro car. Or you getting captured by the celebrity of them. You know, I heard, you know, the more followers you have, the more credible you are. If the pandemic, as far as this space, hasn't proved otherwise, then I don't know what to tell you. But we're gonna get into it, man. So those are the prerequisites. Those are the prerequisites that I think one needs before we get into this next leg. All right, we got 64 likes, 66. I want to see 100 likes tonight. All right. $1 million strategy. And I'm going to give you 3 components, and then I'm going to dig into those 3 components, and ultimately within these 3 components, these are a recipe to eventually get your business to $1 million. And all this is coupled around work. I'm not going to put work in there because I just think people should know that. I heard another content creator say, man, you shouldn't be working hard. You a goddamn lie. You're a goddamn lie. In this business, I don't care what lane you're in, you're going to work hard. Initially getting the business started, you got to work hard. I have yet to meet a person who has started a business that has been successful and they didn't have not one part of their story that didn't talk about hard work. Even people that come from money. I don't have any subscribers that come from money. I have some celebrity subscribers that you don't see in my chat that DM me, but even they didn't come from money. .9% of my subscriber base is trying to get it out the mud, the same way I did. Three components: knowledge, experience, capital, and people. Knowledge, experience, capital, and people. Knowledge, experience, capital, and people. Now, there's other components that I added, but I had to take them out. All right. I had to narrow it down to 3 key components. People who have booked me for coaching and consultation, you know how I dive into stuff. I got to stop giving so much, and I don't want to say dumb stuff down, but I want to tone stuff down because I don't want to be here all night. So I'm going to give you the 3 most important, I should say: knowledge, experience, capital, and people. All right, knowledge, experience. Let's start here. A bunch of people come to me that have no plans of being in a box truck, which is fine. And they want me to coach them to success. And I'm going to be honest with you. And, you know, people may disagree, but I'm going to keep it funky with you. This is not a business. This is a business, I should say, that really hands-on experience is needed. All right. Yeah, you can scale and remove yourself from the truck, but you really need hands-on experience in this business. And I'm going to tell you why. And if you're in a position where you're not capable of doing the hands-on experience, then you need to have some type or some sort of liaison in between you and your employees that knows this business inside and out, that can train these guys and stand on business for you. Because if I work for you and I'm bullshitting and I'm coming to you with bullshit, you're not going to know if I'm bullshitting because you've never done the work to even know what the hell I'm talking about to know that I'm bullshitting you. So you're never going to get to $1 million because you don't know the inner workings of the business. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You could be a multi-millionaire and open a franchise restaurant, a McDonald's. Takes about $1 million to open a McDonald's. Probably a little more now, if they even franchise you, because they've been divesting. They've been closing a lot of owner operators down due to poor, quality, and a lot of McDonald's are having a hard time sourcing talent. But let's say you're a multi-millionaire, you come in some money, you want to buy a McDonald's. You buy a McDonald's, they fly you. You have to fly to Chicago to go to Hamburger University. All right. McDonald's corporate headquarters, everybody knows, founded here in Des Plaines, Illinois, right outside Chicago. All right. Corporate headquarters used to be in Oak Brook. Now it's in the West Loop, right where Oprah's studio used to be. They built Hamburger University. So you want to open a McDonald's as an owner operator, run your own McDonald's, you have to come here. I think it's for 3 months or 3 weeks, whatever it is, to Hamburger University, and they're going to train you how to effectively run a McDonald's franchise. Now you come to Chicago for 3 months on your dime because you're rich. You got enough money to open a McDonald's, so you got some money. You got you some money. You come in for 3 months, whatever it is, and you learn McDonald's inside and out for 3 months. McDonald's gives you the land because McDonald's is really a real estate company. They're not really a restaurant franchise. McDonald's is a real estate company. They own land. They rent you the land. They charge you a franchise fee. They say, all right, so we're going to give you this space right here. We're going to build it out for you. It's going to cost this much, blah, blah, Skippy. You want to start that type of business, you don't technically have to run that business. But as an owner-operator, they require you to come to Chicago for 3 months to go to Hamburger University to know the inner workings of that business. Now, you might not never run the day-to-day because that's an industry where you can hire a restaurant manager, somebody who got 10, 15, 20 years of experience. McDonald's has a network of those people. And that person can run the day-to-day for you on a $75,000, $80,000 a year salary. But this is the box truck business. This is the box truck business. You don't have enough money to pay an experienced person to come manage and run your business because you don't know how to or you don't want to. Let me talk to the women for a second. Let me drink some water for this one. I get a lot of women that come to me for coaching. A lot of them have been other places. And here's the thing with women. And I know y'all watching. If you're not, you're going to watch the replay. Don't get mad at me because I tell you this in the coaching session. You're going to have it the hardest. Great. You want to start a business. I'm not sexist. I'm being honest. It's going to be the hardest for you because you're never going to go out on the truck and know what it takes to run this business, especially in final mile and moving. Why? Because you physically can't do the work. Well, Mark, I'm going to hire somebody that knows how to do the work. If somebody needs a job and you ask them, you done this before, they're going to lie to you and they're going to tell you they did it. And even if they did it, that doesn't mean they were good at it. And you're going to take their word because you bought this truck because you want to be a boss bitch, and don't get offended. That's for entertainment purpose. I got to make the live streams a little bit more entertaining. Somebody told me I was boring. All right. You want to be a boss chick. We're going to say boss chick. All right. I got my LLC. All right. You went out and bought you a box truck. And you think it's as simple as hiring somebody and putting them in the truck because they told you they did this before. You're going to have problems. Why? Because you're never going to get on the truck to know what it takes. And then eventually they're going to stick their chest out to you and they're going to tell you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Let me see you get out here and do it. And when those claims start piling up and they start piling up, what can you do? You can't do nothing because you didn't physically get out there and show them the right way to do it. Well, man, why you keep damaging these refrigerators? Well, man, you didn't show me how you want me to do it then. Then what you gonna do? You're gonna have the goofy look on your face because you can't get out there and physically show a person how to lift a refrigerator. Even if you use hump straps or shoulder straps, your shoulders aren't structured to carry that much weight. You can't physically L a couch up 3 flights of stairs. You don't have the strength. And then you get offended when I tell you this. So guess what? You have to invest in somebody who has the knowledge and the experience. Because you physically can't get out there and train these guys on how to do the work up to your standards. Because now if somebody damages something, they mess something up and they come to you and you train them and then they do it some way other than how you trained them, then you can hold them accountable. But you can't hold nobody accountable if you haven't physically showed them how to do the work. So you need to add a liaison into your cost structure. They're already not going to have enough respect for you anyway because you're a woman. And these guys are doing labor-intensive work. They testosterone, adrenaline is pumping. And then you try to reprimand them at the end of the day for scratching the flow? And this dude done did 15 stops and he know you can't do it and you sitting up there trying to tell him and reprimand him on something? It's not going to work for you. So if you want to come into this business and you physically can't do the work or have the experience, you need to go hire somebody. I'm not sexist, I'm honest. Because ain't nobody else going to tell you that. You're going to go to them for coaching. You're going to go to them for consultation. You're going to tell them you want to start this. They're going to take your money and sell you some bullshit motivation shit and take your money and keep taking your money. You're going to keep going back to them. And you can't figure out why you're not getting it right and why the claims are building up and why these guys don't respect you. Because they know you ain't did the work and they know you can't do the work. See, I'm going to tell you. I don't care if you hire me for coaching or not. I could give 2 damns, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you what you need to hear so you can take back to the person who's selling you bullshit. I see women final mile people. And I'm not sexist, I'm just honest. A woman can't show me how to properly move a Sub-Zero refrigerator. A Sub-Zero refrigerator that's top heavy with the motor on the top. It's different. It's different. The motor ain't on the bottom. It's on the top. And that weight is different because all the weight is at the top. Can't tell me how to do that, let alone move a regular refrigerator. Knowledge, experience. Let's get off the women. So women out there, you want to get into the trucking. I mean, I could talk about moving. I could talk about OTR too. I tell you, we taking it slow tonight. It's the truth. I'm not finna sugarcoat and bullshit you. So women, get you a liaison. Don't get mad when I tell you the truth. And I'm hard on you because it is what it is. All right, everybody else that's not women. Experience takes time. Doesn't happen overnight. Every day you're out on that truck, if you're starting, this is your rookie year, you should be learning something. And when you're not on the truck, you should be researching. You should be educating yourself. You should be trying to figure out ways to cut costs. You should be trying to figure out ways to cut claims. You should try to be figuring out ways to increase revenue. You should be trying to figure out ways to increase productivity. Every day that you're working and getting hands-on training, hands-on experience, you should be consuming knowledge every day. And you should be consuming knowledge from other people. If you're running final mile, you're running middle mile, you're running across other owner operators that have more tenure than you, especially if you're new coming into the space. It doesn't hurt to pick people's brain. You should be trying to consume and eavesdrop on as much information as possible. If someone that has tenure in the space and they're willing to hold a conversation with you if you have the time and give you some jewels that you can consume and put it in your back pocket for use at a later time, then take advantage of that opportunity. Some of y'all walk around, nose in the air. What your nose in the air for? You don't know nothing. You knew. You trying to figure out how you gonna pay Penske this week. You trying to figure out how you gonna pay Penske this week. Stop playing. It takes time, patience, discipline. Let's get into patience and discipline on the next one. Capital. You need money. It's not going to happen without money. So you got to know how you've been running your business for a year, 2 years. You're gaining the knowledge. You know how to maneuver things. You learn how to L a couch up flights of stairs. You know how to protect floors. You went out and you bought some moissanite pads, not some moissanite, some masonite to cover floors. You bought a paper roll or some sticky plastic to put on the carpet. You bought some runners so that you could stop tracking up people's carpet. You've decreased cost. You know what the logistics company said? You know what? You're running for us. You can leave your truck here at the end of the day. So now you're not paying $250 to park your truck at the truck parking place, right? Because RXO said you can leave the truck at their lot. So you park your truck at their lot, you leave it there overnight, you drive your personal car to RXO every day, you back your truck into the dock, you leave your car there, you go do your route, you bring your truck back to their dock and parking on their lot every day, getting your car and go home. So now you're saving $250. You've figured out ways to decrease costs, increase profit. You've taught yourself how to decrease claims because over time, you doing the work, you've learned how to maneuver and master and carry things. You become mechanically inclined. That LG refrigerator that used to be a bitch and give you problems, you know how to efficiently take those doors off and put it back together. Everything that gave you issues when you first started, you pretty much mastered. You're still learning, but you're not a novice anymore. You're not advanced yet, but you're not a novice anymore, right? Now we can talk about money. Well, you know what? Let's go back. Let's go back. It's one thing I miss about knowledge and experience. I want to talk about relationships. Relationships, and I think I touched on it. As you're out and you're moving and shaking, you want to build relationships. And the reason I came back, because this is important, because in order to get to that $1 million gross, it's going to take relationships. You're going to need relationships. As you come across people in passing, you want to get their business cards. You know, a lot of people hit me up all the time. Mark, I can't get R&L carriers and T-Force. R&L carriers and T-Force. I sit up here time and time again, and what do I say? I said they're unresponsive. Don't waste your time calling them. Don't waste your time applying online. You have to physically go there. Man, they're not answering. Man, I say you got to go there. You got to go there. The people who listen to me that have gone there, and pounded the pavement and banged on those doors and kicked those doors down are the people that are running curbside final mile right now. Interstate Screw, it took them 2 months to get with R&L Carriers. I had a multitude of people. I had a guy today said, man, R&L Carriers said they don't do box truck. They don't do owner operators for box trucks. A few people have told me R&L Carriers done told them that and sent them off. But I know that's not true because I've coached subscribers into R&L Carriers. So they'll send you off too. I'm telling you what to do. Just do what I tell you to do. They're not going to pick up the phone. And if they pick up the phone, they'll tell you they don't do box trucks. And I know good and goddamn they do box trucks. There's people in here right now that are running R&L Carriers or box trucks. One of them just got put on 30 days ago. I say, yo, they're not responsive. Go there. You got to go. And even when you go, it may take some time. You got to go back. Mark, man, I went there. I filled it out, man, but I ain't heard from them. Go back. Man, Mark, go back. Man, I went back. Go back again. Man, I still ain't heard. Go back. Man, Mark, they finally called me, man. I ran into the operations supervisor, man. She took me to the back and pulled my requisition number and got me going. Listen, you can go knock on somebody's door. They may not open it. Sometimes you got to kick the door down. See, some of y'all from middle America, man. Some of y'all ain't aggressive like me, man. Some of y'all don't want it. That's why you're not going to get to $1 million. That's why I said I'll tell you how to get to it, but it don't matter because you're not going to do what it takes anyway to get to it. We don't go ask for what we want. We take what we want. Some of y'all from middle America, I got to remember, man, everybody don't got a Chicago mentality. My New York people know what I'm talking about. My LA people know what I'm talking about. My Atlanta people know what I'm talking about. But some of y'all in middle America, man, y'all might be a little bit too passive to be a business owner, man. We don't ask, we take. You can't knock on doors sometimes. If you knocking and they not opening, sometimes you got to go kick the door down. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is, though. So relationships, you got to build good, positive relationships. You need discipline. You need patience. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't go out and do dumb shit, which takes us into capital, right? And here's why a lot of people can't get to the promised land, all right? Can't get to the promised land and grossing $1 million or even scaling their business, multitude of trucks to get to $1 million, right? They figured out a way to make money, right? They got the knowledge, the experience. They figured out a way to be profitable, right? Their costs are low. They're seeing a good amount of net every week. And this is what they do. They don't have any discipline. So what do? They start making money. They want to scale their business. They want to get to the $1 million, but what do? They go out and do some dumb shit like go buy a C-class Benz. Because they're seeing a little bit of money and they think they have to go buy materialistic bullshit because they have a successful business or what they deem as a successful business. So they have to buy materialistic bullshit so when they go out, they can feel like they look the part, be the part. Oh, I got a box. What you do, man? Man, you got them new B-22s on? Man, what you do? You know, I got a box truck business. Got one truck. Wearing $1,300 sneakers. So now they can't figure out why they can't scale their business up because they're making money, but they don't see where the money is going because they don't have the discipline to reinvest that money back into the business because they want to go out and do dumb shit like buy C-class Benzes. And I'm not saying that, you know, you can't buy nice things, but if you plan on scaling a business, then that time period where you're building, all that extra money needs to get reinvested back into the business. You take care of your necessities, and then all the extra money needs to go back into the business. Everybody's situation is different. You may have kids in a family. See, I didn't have all of that. 100% of my money I invested all of it right back into the business. So I was able to aggressively scale. Once I came and I knew that I was making money and I could see the money growing, I just compounded on top of that. I duplicated it. I didn't have time to go spend no money because I was working 7 days a week. You shouldn't be spending that type of money anyway because you should be busy working. A person who's trying to build a business doesn't have any free time, doesn't have any spare time. Money management is one of the biggest issues in our community because as soon as we get some money, we go do dumb shit with it. So this ain't about not having the money and being able to scale. It's about a person who's seeing success with their one box truck and they can't scale because they misappropriating their funds. They basically going to work, making the money, profiting from the business to take it to Christian Dior, Gucci, the club, and Expedia. They getting Expedia because Boobay, she want to go to Jamaica. So you're going to let Boobay send you off because you're going to go spend $5,000 to get to Jamaica if you want to stay in a good resort. You want to stay in a good resort, you're going to spend at least a nickel. Now, if you want to stay off the beaten path somewhere where it's kind of sketchy, you might be able to get away with $2,700, $2,800. You know what I'm saying? You going to Jamaica with me, you better have a nickel. And she told you where she wanted to stay. No, I don't want to stay at the Rio. I want to stay at Secrets, not the cheap Secrets. Somebody that know who been to Jamaica know what I'm talking about. Where Kirk at? So now she done made you come out your pocket. So now you running that box truck so you can pay for that Jamaica vacation. So you could go clap them cheeks in Jamaica. You want to go clap them cheeks in Jamaica instead of saying, you know what? I'm trying to build something. Unfortunately, right now, that $5,000, that I would spend on that, if you can hold out a year, I'm gonna take that $5,000. I think I'm ready. I'm saved up enough money. I think I can go duplicate this with another truck. That $5,000 gonna set me back. A lot of y'all ain't got the heart because y'all feel threatened that you might lose her. I lost the girlfriend that I had when I first started my business. I lost her due to me building my business. She told me if I didn't move, she said, you got more than enough money. If you don't move out your mama's crib. But she told me one ultimatum, she told me I had to move out my OG's crib. And she told me that she felt like she was in a relationship by herself because she never really saw me. She would see me late at night because I was busy working all day, building. And I still lived at the crib. She gave me 6 months. And then 6 months came up. Did I move out? Hell no, I stayed at the crib. Why? Because it wasn't time for me to move out yet. Because the money that I would have been paying for rent, that money was getting reinvested back into the business. My OG said I could stay as long as I wanted to. When I moved out, the first place I moved out is the place that I'm sitting right now. It wasn't no stepping stones. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to do, and I did it. And I didn't let nobody tell me otherwise. Some people ain't got what it takes. They don't want to lose Boobay. Discipline. Discipline. So money management. Money management. Managing the money properly, taking the money that's coming in and reinvesting it, aggressively reinvesting it back into the business. That's the only way you're going to scale. You have to reinvest the money back into the business. Well, Mark, what about other people's money? What about it? The first 2 years, ain't no bank going to even sit down and talk to you. Some banks 3 years now. So if you do see some success within your first year because you come to Marky Mark and Marky Mark guides you down the right path, so you kind of steer clear of a lot of that learning curve. And after your first year, you got a nice little bag because Mark done steered you in the right direction and you ready to duplicate it. Bank ain't going to talk to you. You only got 12 months of statements. Only thing you can do is a hard money loan, which I wouldn't recommend. So you're going to need working capital. And that working capital is going to come from money that you have successfully earned and socked away as cash flow. You already have a proven method. It's working. You just have to duplicate it. And you're going to have to manage your money properly. Now, you can go take a hard money loan or a hard money business line of credit. And most people who do that, they're desperate and thirsty for what reason, I don't know, because they don't have any discipline. When they can just use the cash flow that they have. Because you're not in a position yet to really sit down and talk with a traditional bank and get traditional interest rates. You can only do hard money loans or hard money business lines of credit. But you need capital. You need capital, and you have to reinvest that capital back into the business aggressively. That's how I did it. Everybody's situation is different. So whatever you need to do is what you need to do. And sacrifice is going to come along with it. Like, if you're in your first year of business, you shouldn't be taking trips. Well, Mark, you can't tell me what I need to do. Well, guess what? You're not going to never see $1 million then. Because you don't have the patience or the discipline or the sacrifice. So manage your money. Manage your money. Manage your money. All right, next. People. You can't get to $1 million gross without people. You can't do it alone. Like this guy said here, where's my share button? The Bandman, he said, with one box truck, you're guaranteed to at least make $1 million. That's bullshit. You're not going to do it. You need people. You're going to need a bunch of people. You're going to need a multitude of people and a multitude of equipment. And in order to get that multitude of equipment, you're going to need capital, which means you're going to have to constantly reinvest money that's coming in into the business to scale. And you're going to need people. All right. The hardest thing right now, I would say, if out of all these things that I've talked about tonight, if any one of them would be the hardest, it's going to be people. And it's going to be finding people, especially in today's times. I say it all the time. You're going to have to find people. And then once you find these people, you're going to have to train these people. Just because you got people doesn't mean, okay, I got the money, I got the knowledge, I got the experience, I got the capital, I got to get the equipment. Now I got to get the people to put into the equipment so I can run a multitude of trucks so I can make $1 million. So guess what? You got the people. You let's say you one of the lucky ones, you find people. You got to train the people. And this goes back to what I talked about earlier when I brought the women aspect, the woman aspect in. You have to train the people, because just because you got the people doesn't mean they're going to take you to the promised land. You could bring some people in, and if you don't train them properly, right? Instead of that positive $1 million, you probably going in the reverse way, because you sending people out that aren't trained and they're getting claims. I don't care if it's final mile, big and bulky, final mile, curbside. I don't care if it's middle mile, Amazon. People do dumb shit with Amazon. People do dumb shit in middle mile. You got somebody, God forbid, fall asleep behind the wheel, rear end somebody, hit somebody crossing the street, hit a pedestrian, hit a bicyclist. They didn't see the bicyclist in the bicycle lane, run them over. Now you got $1 million lawsuit on your hands. But man, did you train this person? No, they said they did this work before. But you didn't train them how you want things to do. You didn't go out on the road test with them. You didn't go out on the with them for a week and train them on how you want things done. No, I can't do that. You know, I threw my shoulder out. My rotator cuff messed up. And that's if you a guy. You make excuses. If you a woman, you just can't physically do it. So you have to train the people. You can send people out, and instead of them making you money, they could be costing you money. You have to not only train people, you have to train the right people. Some people will have people And they know they're not the right people, but they so thirsty to get that truck rolling because it's sitting not making money. They want to make money. They take a person who got shit ton of points on their MVR. Well, skip it, man. I know the insurance is going to be high, but this the only person who really applied that's really willing to work. I'm just going to have to pay the extra insurance and just really, really work them. And then they go do some dumb shit behind the wheel. And then you get mad at them. You can't get mad at them because their MVR shows what type of driver they are. You hired them because you were thirsty. You didn't have any patience. So you have to eat that and whatever comes along with it. So training people, training the right people, hiring the right people takes time. Which goes back to what I say, discipline and patience. You have to be patient. Which goes back to what I said earlier. Be honest with yourself. If you got just enough money, it's not enough. If that truck got to sit 30 days or 45 days until you find the right candidate to put behind the wheel, then so be it. I'd rather take a daily loss of not running the truck than putting the wrong person behind that wheel, and now it's costing me money to the point where they putting a lien on my house. They coming after my assets because I got this big stupid lawsuit. Because I got this retard driving the truck because I was thirsty and I just wanted to get the truck going. And this is the only person who was willing to work. And I was willing to pay the extra insurance just to get the truck rolling. So finding the right people, training the right people, retaining the right people. Here's another issue a lot of people run into. They can't retain people. They find a person. They go through all the hard work, the time it takes, the patience. They train them. Let's say there's a person who trains them. They got a good worker. They end up losing their good worker. Why? They can't retain their good worker. Why? Because they're too cheap. They don't want to pay them. Listen, you're a business person. Mark tells you all the time, this is a small profit margin business. You want to make the big bag. It's not for you to make the big bag. If you have a good qualified driver who's dedicated, who comes to work every day, you hire somebody who has a great driving record, who has responsibilities, who's deemed themselves reliable, and you want to pay them $150 a day? So you can make $300? No, I'm going to pay them $250 a day. And I'm going to take $200. Or you want to pay them $150 a day so you can net $200? No, I'm going to pay them $250 a day and I'll just net $100. Because I'd rather make $600 a week on a 6-week contract than no dollars a week because another company said, well, damn, we'll give you $250 a day. You're in competition for talent. Everybody's in competition for talent right now because there's not enough talent to go around that want to do this type of work. So what? You got a box truck and you got a note on your box truck. You're in competition with a person who got a 2012 whose truck is paid for. So they got more room to pay a person an extra $100 a day. And don't mind doing it. So you got to make $100 less, but you're still making $100 or $150 or whatever it is. If you're running on a 10% margin, so what? That's good in this business. But no, you got owner operators who want to make $300, $350. No, it don't work like that. You got something that's working. You got somebody that's reliable. He knows what he's doing. You want to retain them. It costs more money to hire somebody and lose them and then hire somebody else. It's cheaper to retain the talent that you have. It's expensive bringing on new talent. The reason I was able to scale aggressively and successfully is because I've always paid handsomely, especially to the people who were valuable. If I'm making $50 less because I got to give him an extra $50 a day, so be it. I'm still making. I'm not going to lose a guy for $50. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Like, I see so many people let good talent walk out on them for $50 or $100. How much are you netting? Well, man, after everything, I'm taking away about $275, and they wanted what, $75 extra dollars a day? You paying them what, $150 to do 15 stops, and you don't want to give them $225? You making $275? Just make the $200. You let this person walk for $75. Now the truck's sitting, and now it's been sitting for 30 days because you can't find nobody. Yeah, man, man, he was good, man. He was with me, man. 9 months. Man, I only got one claim from him, man. He was good. $75. You're never going to scale your business up to gross $1 million if you don't have people. So you get one truck. You figure out a way to make money from it. You duplicate that. You remove yourself from that truck. You put somebody in, you're in the second truck. You're making money. You remove yourself from the second truck. You put yourself in the third truck, put somebody in the second truck. As you're scaling your business up and hiring people and putting them into those new trucks that you're acquiring, it's your business to still keep all the other people, the old people. You still got to keep the person you put in truck 1. You got to keep the person you put in truck 2, 3, 4. As you keep buying new trucks and putting people in them, all the people that you put in the past, you got to keep them happy. If you get to third truck and now trucker 1 is bitching and complaining because he's doing a lot of work, he's not getting paid enough, you're going to lose truck 1. So now you got 3 trucks, but truck 1 ain't running because you just lost him because you don't want to give him $50. So now you're stalled out. You was on your roll. You had positive momentum going up and to the right, but now you got to stop it. You can't go get truck number 4, even though you're ready for it. You have the capital, the experience, the know-how. And you can duplicate this process, and you know you're gonna be successful because you have the process down pat. But now you're at a stalemate. Why? Because truck driver number 1 done pulled out because you refused to give him. He been here 6 months. He want an extra $50. You give him $200. He said, "Man, I want $250." Cost of living done went up. You making $300 off the truck, and you don't want to make $250. Yeah, so now he walks. So now you at a standstill. In order to get and keep scaling up, you got to keep people happy. If you don't keep people happy, then you're going to have to just keep stopping and then going back and filling that truck back up, finding new talent. It could take you 30, it could take you 45, it could take you 60 days, it could take you 90 days. It's hard sourcing talent now. If you plan on grossing $1 million, you have to understand you're going to make your money in volume. You got a method that's working, now you have to compound that method. It's like duplicating the wheel. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You already have the method that's working. You got to duplicate it. And like I said, as you're duplicating it, you have to keep those people that were there, that you were putting into those slots, you got to retain them. Knowledge, right? Experience, capital, people. Knowledge, experience, capital, people. That's what it takes to get to $1 million. That's what it takes to get to $1 million. Not listening to these guys who don't know what the hell they talking about, who have never grossed $1 million. Stop letting these people send you off. Stop letting them hit you with these bullshit motivational speeches. Stop letting them tell you you can make $1 million and you never ran a truck. Listen, if you've never been in a truck, you're not going to make $1 million. If you don't have the money to pay a liaison or some type of operations manager who knows what the hell they're doing to be a liaison in between you and your employees, you're not going to make $1 million. You don't have the know-how. You don't have the hands-on experience to know how to get to that $1 million. Like I said, even if you start a franchise business, you have to fly to Chicago to go to Hamburger University to know how to own and operate a McDonald's. McDonald's don't give a damn if you have the money to open a McDonald's. You have to bring your ass to Chicago, to Hamburger University for, what, 2 or 3 months and learn the inner workings of McDonald's. Guess what? They're going to put you in the McDonald's at Hamburger University. They have a McDonald's there on Randolph Street, downstairs. You're going to have to do everything. You're going to have to flip the fries. You're going to have to do all that shit. Why? Because McDonald's is held to a high regard. They're not just going to throw you out there because you have the money. You have to humble yourself. I don't care if you're worth $1 billion. You're going to flip some fries. You're going to flip some burgers. You're going to sweep some dining rooms and clean some tables. You're going to meet and greet people. Because it's their policy, it's their standard. So now when you get back to wherever it is you came from, and they say, okay, your McDonald's is going to be on the corner of First and Main, because like I said, McDonald's is a real estate company. They own the property, they own the land. You're renting the space from them on top of paying your franchise fee. Okay, you're going to operate that McDonald's on First and Main. Now, when you go back, you know how to run and operate that McDonald's. You know if a person is selling you bullshit or not. Why? Because you've been in those situations before. When a person comes to you with a situation, you know how to advise them out of it because you've been in that situation before. If you've never been in that situation before, how do you properly know how to scale a business to $1 million? Why do you think the person who was on the show last week that came up under me without me even coaching him, just watching what I did? He said it, man, I looked at what you did and I said if I can increase on it and make it better by 10%, but I didn't even have to do that because you had it down perfect. You just watched me and mimic what I did. First year did $250,000. He hit the ground running because he saw the blueprint. And guess what? He had physically did the work. He had physically did the work. So when people, like he said, came to him with bullshit, he could bullshit right back with them. He didn't have to sit there and and not knowing what they saying, not knowing what they talking about. He could read through the bullshit. He could cut the bullshit off at the door. What did he tell you? You know what, person wanna, whatever the situation, I think with Dave was late or something, you know what? He said he went and threw on the uniform shirt that he bought for me when he was working for me, and he told him, yo, you're fired. He hopped his ass on the truck and he went and did it himself. Because he saw the bullshit. It is what it is, man. You want to make $1 million? Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. That's what it takes. And like I said, I'm going to say 98% of y'all ain't going to do what it takes. So prove me wrong. Since everybody want to know how to make $1 million, that's how you make $1 million. A person who's set out to making $1 million ain't worried about who's clapping their girl's cheeks. I don't plan on getting out of my truck for the next 3 years. I need the full revenue from the truck for the next 3 years. Even while I'm scaling, I'll still be driving for the next 3 years. That's cool. You know why? Because that sounds like a plan. And one of the components that I talked about, patience. You're not in a hurry. Listen, scaling comes naturally. It's not forced. The business will tell you when it's time to grow. If you're forcing the business to grow, you're going to fail. The business will talk to you. Mark, you tripping. No, I'm not tripping. The business will talk to you. The business will tell you when it's time to grow. If you force it, you will fail. Some people can grow sooner than other people. Some people can grow faster than other people. It doesn't mean that they're doing something right and you're not. It just means their situation may cause for it. And it could be something as simple as they don't have all the expenses. You may have to pull a little bit of your profit back. Whereas this person, doesn't have the expenses that you have. You have to create a plan and have the patience and the discipline, right, to do what it takes for your business and not really worry about what everybody else is doing. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Your journey to $1 million and the next person's journey to $1 million is going to be two different journeys. You come from two different, paths of life. A lot of people will probably be on their way to $1 million if they would have just listened to me last year. Which goes back to what I talked about earlier, your coaching and your consultation. A lot of people are still complaining about the same shit, the spot market. I've been telling people for the past 9-10 months, well, just do this. And those people that complain about the spot market, I can tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. Hit the like button. I'm going to tell you something. It's going to hurt some feelings. Hit that like button, man. We got 71 people in here. We got 91 likes. I need to see 100 likes. I need 9 more likes. For all the new people that came in, I need y'all to hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. Hit that like button. I'm going to tell you, the people who run in the middle mile, who were running it when the economy started to shift and things started to correct themselves. I'm going to say correct themselves because that's the proper terminology. You don't feed into the bullshit and the propaganda that people tell you. When things started to correct themselves, and those people that were in the middle mile spot market lane prior to the correction that are still in that lane now, that are not complaining, versus the people who are in it that have exited, or the people who are in it that are still in it and complaining, if I put those two people next to them and measure, it would be one big difference. The person who was in that lane, that's still in that lane, that's not complaining, that's doing fine, it means one thing. They're working harder than the other person. That's all it means. They're working harder. And I guarantee you, if you look at how they run and operate their truck versus the person who's complaining or the person who exited, this person is out on the road a lot longer than that other person. That person is trying to come back every weekend to smack cheeks. When this person is out on the road getting to the money with no plans to come home. They don't even know when they coming home. That's the difference. Person is outworking you. They're outworking you. Same thing with getting to the M. Person who's going to work and sacrifice is going to get there quicker. The more work you put in, the more sacrifice you put in, the more discipline, the more patience you have, hands-on experience, consuming information, consuming knowledge, applying that information, applying that knowledge that you're consuming to make your business run a lot more efficiently and effectively. Reinvesting your money back into the business instead of doing dumb shit like going out as soon as you see some money, going out and buying a goddamn C-class Benz. Those are the people who are going to ultimately be successful, and they're going to continue to go up and to the right. It's going to look like a stock market chart during a bull cycle. You're going to just see arrows just constantly going up and to the right. And that's the recipe. Like Isdy Wall, you can't be lazy. It's middle mile, final mile, moving, goddamn cargo van. I don't care. You got to work, and you need to implement those key components. And if you implement those key components, you consume the information, you get the hands-on training experience, you apply it. When you start making money, you do what you appropriate that capital the right way and reinvest that back into the damn business instead of going off and doing dumb shit. Because if you don't reinvest the money back into the business, it's not gonna scale. You're never gonna grow. Reinvesting the money back into the business and then dealing with people. People is the most important part. It's easy to get experience. Just do the work. Once you do the work, you're going to start seeing success. You're going to see the capital. Listen, experience, knowledge, capital, those are easy. The people is going to be your hardest challenge. But guess what? You'll never get to that promised land without them. You chose a business that you need people and equipment to get there. See, they didn't tell you this in those the 10,000, 8,000, 545 million, zillion, $900 courses, did they? They not teaching you this. They tell you shit you can Google. They can't tell you this because they haven't done it. Dano says he's going to Mark University. Hey man, we welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. I need 100 likes. Shout out to Do Good in the building. Pippi say hit them like buttons. Hit that like button. Axel, what up? What up? What up? What up? My kids can live with us till they married or 30 plus as long as they work to be family, team players, and not knuckleheads. Yeah. And you know what? That's good parenting. My OG told me stay as long as you want, but once you leave, you can't come back. Her biggest contribution to me was allowing me to stay under her roof with no bills. I didn't have to pay no bills. She said, I can't invest any money. You're going to have to build it up because if I invest in you and it doesn't work out, then we both don't got shit. So my investment is you can stay here. You don't got to worry about no bills. Go out and be great. That allowed me to reinvest all the profit back into the business. Everybody is not going to have that type of investment. Even though that wasn't a monetary investment, that still was an investment because I was able to save money. I didn't have to pull money back for my personal living. I was able to reinvest that money back into the business aggressively. Very aggressively. All right. So, everybody's situation is different. And I worked very hard. I worked like I didn't have shit. I'm out there doing shit that I had no business doing. But that's the difference between me and a lot of people. And that's why I was able to scale. It's people out here that can't even make $90,000 a year. I'm making $90,000 a month. But guess what? It took hard work. A lot of sacrifice. So like I was saying, everybody's not going to have that. If you have other obligations where you're having to pull back more of your profit to cover your living expenses, that means you just got to work a little bit harder. You can't let somebody that doesn't have those expenses outwork you. You have to work harder. And guess what? You're going to have to sacrifice more. You're going to have to sacrifice more. Shout out to Nirvana fan page. They said they're new. Shout out. Welcome to the channel. The kids' problem is way too much for the parents sometimes, though. We have a bunch of rebellious kids in our country. They break home curfews, bring girlfriends, and Love you, bro. That is it, man. Tom, appreciate you. Do good. Appreciate you. Keep buying the trucks into the yard. Can't fit them all. 1,000 truck target, man. That's the goal. Realistic goals. I never put a dollar amount goal. I just wanted to keep buying more trucks. and I say that all the time because that's what I got off on more trucks. I would have conversations and I would shit on people I got 12, 13, 14, 15 trucks. Oh, you people say you got your little trucking business. No, it ain't little. Ain't nothing little about it. I got 30, 35 people working for me. On payday, we got a stack of checks like that. So, it takes hard work, though. A lot of sacrifice. Kobe Curry said he just got home. They added 200 for one stop after doing 15 Home Depot contract. Here goes somebody that I think Kobe was doing OCHR, listened to me and transitioned to Home Depot. They gave him 200 for one stop after doing 15, just getting home. And the funny thing is, I've been telling people to go this route since about October, November. Once I started seeing the way the spot market was going, I started transitioning people over. The people who listened and they did it, salute to them. But there's still a bunch of people out there that tell me, well, Mark, it ain't easy transitioning. Why the hell is not? If you're losing in one lane and you have everything it takes to transition, you got the authority, the licensing, everything. The only thing you need to do is go apply, on board, and transition, then what the hell are you waiting on? If I'm telling you it's a pot of gold over here and it's shit over here and you're over here in the shit and I'm telling you it's a pot of gold over here, why are you still standing in the shit? When you have everything you need to just go to the pot of gold. It's not like you're starting. You're already a business. You're already up and operational. You're just up and operational, operating at a loss. And I'm telling you where the pot of gold is. Just like I'm saying, I could tell you where the money is at, but 97% of y'all ain't going to do the shit and go get it anyway. But you want to sit up here and tell me, well, man, it's just not easy making that transition. How in the hell is it not? If you touch the damn stove and it's hot, you going to touch it again? If you losing money over here, why you keep going back? And I'm telling you, the money is right here. I can show you where the money is at. When I first came to YouTube, everybody was making fun of me. Content creators making fun of me. Final mount. Nobody want to carry no refrigerators and all that shit upstairs. Yes, a bunch of people knocking my door down now telling me to point them in the direction of their goddamn refrigerators. Because that's where the money is at. When everything else corrected itself, Final Mile is still doing what it's been doing. And it's going to continue to do what it's doing. You know why? Because everybody wants the easy way out. You want to go do Amazon Relay. Keep going doing Amazon Relay, making them tools and fuse, while ultimately they've been devising a plan to get you out of there anyway. They're buying their own trucks. No one wants to talk. I'm the only one who's talking about that. Y'all see the damn trucks pulling up. Well, I see the trucks in the yard, but I don't know why they're there. I'm telling you why they're there. I've showed you why they're there. I've showed you people. We had somebody, James, who me and Kurt coached for free. He didn't listen to a goddamn word we said. He went to California. I said, James, this run is going to put you out of business. I'm 100% right. Everything that I've said since I came on YouTube has come into fruition. Even now, I said, James, you finna go out of business. This trip is finna put you out of business. When he went on the trip and came back, like I said, he was out of business. And guess what he does? He came back on the challenge. He runs overnight for Amazon, driving an Amazon box truck, doing what owner-operators who do relay do. He's doing it for a DSP. And it's to the point now where the trucks that they order aren't coming in fast enough, so they're aggressively renting trucks from Penske, Budget, and Ryder. Ultimately, they probably want to get rid of Amazon Relay. or want to downsize it to the point where they control the majority of it in-house with DSPs. I told you that was going to happen, and it's happened. But nobody wants to talk about that. The whole time, Curbside Final Mile and Big and Bulky Final Mile is still over here doing numbers. Why? Because nobody wants to do this work. Why? Because they want to take the easier route. And the easier route ain't going to be around too much longer. A lot of people aren't advanced enough to understand the spot market for middle mile. They're not advanced enough. Or they don't have the working capital going into it initially to master it and maneuver around it. The learning curve, to withstand the learning curve. Because somebody told him it was easy. Or like he told him, you can make $1 million. This bullshit. You can make $1 million. Where is that at? This guy. Shout out to Bandman, shout out to Big Folks. He did his job. He said what he needed to say so people could buy into his course for $300 and fall for the goofy.
Yo, goof ass.
And fall for the
Goofy as hell. Yo, goof ass.
Straight goofy. Everybody that bought that course was a goofy. It is what it is. I'm from Milwaukee. We aggressive with it. Don't take no for an answer. Don't take no for an answer. Everybody that keep hitting me up, if I point you in the right direction and I tell you what to do, they're not responsive. They're not responsive. Stop hitting me up talking about you called them and they not answering. I told you they're not responsive. You got to go there. You got to go there. And this is why I get frustrated, because I give you the whole blueprint, but nobody listens. You pick out what you want to pick out. You look at the title, you fast forward through the video, you look at the companies, you call the companies instead of watching the whole video. I can tell somebody who doesn't watch the whole video. From here on out, if you DM me, I know I already got my one rule where if you don't speak to me, you just come in my DM and asking questions, I don't respond to you. And I said what I'm going to do. I'm going to open it up so you can see I read it and not respond. I'm finna really get ignorant. That's my first thing. Don't come into my DM just japping. You speak. Hey, Mark, what's up? Good morning, Mark. Good afternoon, Mark. Show some respect. If you don't, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to read it so you can see I read it, and I'm not going to respond to you. The second thing, if you ask me a question about a video and I can tell you didn't watch the whole video because you asking me something that I covered in the video, listen, bro. I've been on this for how long I've been on here? An hour and 56 minutes. An hour and 56 minutes. I only got 99 likes. I need 100 likes. 383 people have come through this chat, this live. 383. I got 99 likes. Now I got 100. I gave away all this free information from a person who's actually done the work. And guess what? The ops are watching. You know why people, I think, feel a certain type of way? Because I'm slowing up their money. That situation that happened here a few weeks ago, when I think about that situation, I never said nothing about that dude. He just had an issue with me probably because of the information I'm giving out. It's probably slowing up his money. So I'm giving valid information from experience, not just woofing, talking bullshit. Information that if I wanted to sell, I could, but I don't want to because I don't have to, you know. And the only thing I ask you to do is hit the like button. It costs me money to do this. This ain't free. It costs money to stream. I wish I could turn one of these cameras around so you could see all this shit. But y'all go listen to people who cameras look all foggy and dingy. Don't invest money into the platform that they so-called trying to tell you how to make money. And they shit look like garbage. I said it's only 5%. And I'm talking about active. I ain't talking about people who've been here who ain't been active. So don't try to go figure out. I'm talking about active people. People who have put out videos recently. Active people. It's only about 5%. And I'm not including journey-based content in that. I'm talking about people who deem themselves the truth, that sell people shit. People that sell people shit. I'm not talking about journey-based content, following their journey and they don't sell shit. I'm talking about people who sell people shit. It's only 5%, if that. If that. I can't thank you enough. I must set up a coaching call for an hour. I went to T-Forge 3 times in person. The 4th time I met a branch manager who was nice and ready to bring in drivers. And I say that all the time. I say that all the time. You got to kick the door down. Shout out for the super chat. Canna Startup. Appreciate that super chat. Appreciate that super chat. None of these companies are responsive. I say it all the time, but yet and still I did a video today. A multitude of people hit me up saying that they can't get in contact with nobody. You have to go there. Shout out to Canna Startup for the $20 super chat. You got to go kick these doors down. Kick them down. I heed your advice and met branch manager. I just signed the T-Force contract yesterday. Shout out to you. See, this is why I do this. This is what I like hearing. This is what I like hearing. This is why I do it. See, I ain't been there and done it. I know what to do. I know where the money is at. I know how to get to the money. I know what it's going to take to get to the money. I know what it's going to take to retain the money and keep the money. And I know what to do with the money once you get it. Oh, I'm talking shit tonight. I'm talking shit tonight. I'm not one of the guys who's selling you bullshit. And I can say it confidently. Kirk done been to Chicago. He done been here. You done had past employees tell you. And then all the information I give out ain't coming from a person who don't know what the hell they talking about. I know where the money is at. Shout out to Do Good. Appreciate the super chat. I know where the money is at. I know how to retain the money, and I know what to do with the money once you get it. So even when you get the money and you come back to me, I tell you what to do with the money to make more money. I even tell you when it's time to exit and take the money and run. See, a lot of people, they make money and then they don't know when to exit and run with the money. They just hold on for dear life thinking it's going to last forever. And not everything lasts forever. You got to know how to move the money around. Yeah, man, I had to get a few people straight tonight. It's all good. Hopefully, some people, heard what they needed to hear. Hopefully some people heard what they needed to hear. Knowledge comes with experience. It does. Knowledge and experience. I love that background behind you. Might go over some people's head. It is what it is. Go over people's head. 24,000 to get you a Subway, 38,000 to get you a Waffle House. You talking about franchises? Oh, I think more than a Subway. Unless you just giving an example. I think about a Subway. Last time I checked, it was like 300,000 for a Subway. Might be more now. Might be more now. Mario D-Berry, what up? Yep. So I don't think there's gonna be no questions tonight, man. I think everybody heard what they needed to hear. Shout out to the people who got the super chats. My advice works. I appreciate you for listening. I can get a contract with the final mile, but I need two guys. Shout out to Heavy Goodman for the super chat. Shout out to Heavy Goodman for the super chat. Shout out to everybody with the super chats. I can get a contract with Final Mile, but I need two guys. Where can I hire guys that have experience in Final Mile or moving? Thank you, Mark. This live is lit. I think if you are going to get a contract with Final Mile, sounds like you've never done Final Mile. I don't know what part you came in. I think if you can, I think one of those guys should be you. I think if you can, you need to hire a guy and get on the truck yourself, or hire two guys and rotate those two guys out and you be on the truck. Because if you haven't done this work, you need to do this work. And if you're going to hire two guys, even if they know what they're doing, you're going to still have to hire someone to train them to your standards. Because just because they say they know what they're doing, or just because they've done this work before, you don't know who they worked for before you. And you don't know how they trained them, and you don't know, what bad habits they may have from a previous company. You have to train people according to your standard. And in order for you to create a standard to be able to train someone on, you need to physically go out and do the work to create that standard. So I can give you a blueprint on what to look for and how to hire people, but if you haven't done the work, just because they say they've done it, that still doesn't mean they don't need training. If I work for McDonald's, and I work for McDonald's on First and Main, and then I quit McDonald's on First and Main, I give them my 2 weeks notice, I quit for 6 months, and then I go back and I work for McDonald's on Second and Main. Just because on my application they see that I work for McDonald's on First and Main, so they know I have experience, so that makes me a top candidate amongst everybody else that apply. When I come in there, they're still going to train me because it's company protocol. They still have to retrain me. Your business is your business. Just because they worked for somebody else, or they were their own owner operator, and now they don't run their company anymore, they want to work for you, or they work for somebody else, you still have to train them to your standards. Because if they go out and they do some dumb shit, and it's dumb, and you be like, well, why would you do that? You know what they're going to say? Well, shit, you didn't show me how you want me to do it. This is the way I did it with the other company. They didn't tell me to cover up the floors or cover up the carpet. They trained me to slide the damn refrigerator across the floor. Why would you slide a refrigerator across the floor? That's how they trained me to do it. They just said just slide it back because it's got the two wheels. But a little bitty pebble from their shoe came from under their shoe and it got stuck under there. And when you slid it, you scratched the floor. But guess what? You can't trip. Now you got to pay for that floor. You can't even take it out their check. Why? Because you didn't train them. You didn't train them to your standards. Because they came in and they said, oh, well, we did this before. So what? They could have worked for Janky Delivery LLC, where everything they did was janky. They actually did the work, though. You asked them, you done this before? Yeah, we did this for 6 months. And the whole 6 months they did it, they did a janky job every day. But you're just going off of what they said they've done it, which they have done it. They didn't lie. It's just they just did janky work. You have to train people to your standard. So this is the long-winded answer because I think this is the answer that you need. So I'll give you the answer that you asked for. Where are you going to hire workers? The best way to find workers is put an ad out on Indeed, Glass, any job board. Start with Indeed. You can put up some questions, right? They can go through an aptitude test. You can set up a test um, on Indeed to check their knowledge, so that way you can weed out people, so you're not wasting your time meeting up with a bunch of unqualified candidates, and then go from there. That would be the easiest way to reach a multitude of people. But it's like I tell everybody who comes to me for consultation and coaching, if it's possible, you need to get on that truck and run that truck, so that you know what the job entails, and you know ultimately how to train people to your standards of way of them doing the business, right? And if you can't, then you need to hire someone that really does know it, who can train them. You know what I'm saying? And even if they say you believe that they know what the hell they're doing, you need to take the time to go out for a few days or a week to see if they know what they're doing. Person will tell you anything just to get a job. But you can't hold them at fault if you don't train them to your company standards. And if you have never done the work, that means you need someone to train you. This is a high liability driven business. You can go out on your first day of training, and your very first stop is a $4,000 refrigerator, and you can damage it. Now, if you're average to gross $4,000 to $5,000 a week, your very first stop on a Monday morning just costs you $4,000. So every other stop you do, 15 stops a day for the rest of the week, it don't matter, because you got to pay for this refrigerator. So now you got to pay for this refrigerator. You got to pay for all the costs associated with running your route for the rest of the week. So now you probably had about a $6,000 or $7,000 loss, because the refrigerator costs you $4,000, and you might be spending $2,000 a week with payroll and fuel and whatever other variable expenses you got. Because this guy told you he knew what he was doing, and they tried to carry a refrigerator up the stairs with a dolly, and now they scratched the damn stairs. It was wooden stairs, oak wood. Or they tried to carry it up with the piano straps or the shoulder straps, let's say, and they didn't know how to adjust the straps the correct way. So when the guy was going on the incline, the refrigerator was tilting down because he didn't readjust the straps when they started to ascend the stairs. Or the guys just aren't physically equipped to handle this type of work. Just because you have the equipment, you still need some type of physical strength. You know, those guys that always saying, you can tell when you go out on the truck, okay, yeah, we did this. All right, so you did it. I'm going to ride on the truck with you for a few days to see. And then you get out on the job with him, and you got one guy look like he's okay, but the other guy keeps saying, man, hold on, stop, put it down. That guy ain't going to work. Any guy that can't take something from the truck straight into the apartment, up the stairs, around the corner, go up, can't do that. Every landing, all right, set it down. They got to set it down every landing or set it down every few feet. That person not going to work. They're not physically capable. They're not strong enough. But see, you wouldn't know that unless you didn't go out on the truck with them. See, a person that can't go straight away, now they can't work. They're not strong enough. They ain't cut out for it. And Rob would tell you, if he's still in here, when we would send those new guys out, hey, Mark, don't put him on the truck with me. Dude ain't shit. Man, he too weak. He weak as hell, man. He making us work 10 times hard, man. Go put him on somebody else. Well, man, you the trader, man. He ain't, man. I'd rather do this. Me and Henry will do it. We don't want him. Me and Henry would rather do the 3 floors by ourselves than put this dude with us. We working harder with dude. Don't put him with us. He ain't, Mark. Trust me. He ain't cut out for this type of work. Then I would have the hard job to telling you, know what, here go your check, man. Don't even worry about it. Man, what you mean? What I do wrong? Man, this ain't for you. You wouldn't know that unless you went out there. So do these curbside final have referred you? I don't know. Can you rephrase your question? That question kind of don't make sense. Vincent says he planned on living on the road. If you plan on doing OTR, man, that's what you may have to do to really check a bag. Matter of fact, ain't that what you probably going to have to do? That's what you're going to have to do. If you want to see success in that OTR lane, that's what you got to do. I did a live a few weeks ago about that. It was more like a reality check live. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys that's complaining about the middle mile, the reason why they're not seeing success is because they too in a hurry to get home. If they leave out on a Monday, the thing that's in their head Monday morning to leave out after they reset is getting back home on Friday. That's what's in their head. You on your road to do your first load on Monday, and the only thing you thinking about is getting back home on Friday. That's a recipe for disaster. You're gonna fail. It ain't cut out for you. This ain't for you. The people who seeing a bag is the people who's on the road. They not chasing home on Friday. They chasing the next load. And wherever the next load may take them, that's profitable. They're chasing a bag, and this person is chasing butt. If you chase a butt, you're not going to get to the bag. If you chase the bag, you always get to the butt, because the butt going to be waiting on you because you got the bag. Some people work different. They work backwards. Some people work backwards. Chase the bag. If you don't want to chase the bag and you want a comfortable social life, go get a job. All right? Because now you can go to your job 9 to 5. At 5, you'll get off. The butt will be there waiting on you. She'll be complaining because you're a 9 to 5 guy. So you're not going to be able to do what the successful box truck guy, because the successful box truck can go on the road for about a month. And he can go drop 5,000 on Jamaica, 6,000 on Jamaica, no problem. He not really tweaking on no money. He ain't got nothing but money, because he on the road getting to it. The final mile guy, he ain't got nothing but money either, because he running a 6-day-a-week contract. He running 12 hours a day. When he gets home, he tired. He ain't spending no money. The one off day he got, he's spending that time sleeping. He ain't spending no money. He ain't got nothing but money. The guy who's chasing the butt and trying to get back to the crib every Friday are the guys that's complaining. Now find me 2 guys, that one that's not complaining, that's running OTR middle mile, and one that is complaining, and I can tell you the difference between the 2 of them. The one that's not complaining is the one that's working, who's out on the road. I guarantee you he's outworking the person that's complaining. The person that's complaining is home every Friday. He's pulling up late Friday night, early Saturday morning. I'm in the process of onboarding with RXO. What's the process for getting unemployment insurance? What do you mean unemployment insurance? If you're an owner-operator, why you got an employee? You got an employee? If you got an employee, you only going to have to pay unemployment insurance if you got them on a W-2. Unless you mean accidental occupational insurance. It's a difference. I think you mean occupational hazard insurance. But if you mean unemployment insurance, you're paying them on a W-4 and you're going to pay into unemployment quarterlies. My suggestion for you with that, because it can be kind of confusing, I would hire an accountant to handle that for you, because they're going to handle all that for you. And then every quarter, they're just going to send you the statement, what's going to come out of your check, because they're going to withdraw that money every quarter automatically. All right. And he's just going to send you, or she's just going to send you a statement. You know what? This is what you got to pay into unemployment. It's already been drafted. It's going to come out April 31st. It's going to be $1,000. You see the statement, then April 30th, I mean, it's not 31 days in April. You just see that money come out and it'll say Wisconsin state, wherever you're from, unemployment tax, whatever. So before you hire movers, you need to know how to wrap furniture with moving blankets, whether it's long distance or local. Yep. That goes back to what I say, training. You know, people, you hire, or you want to start a business, you have to know how to train your people. And if you don't have the knowledge because you haven't done the work, you just have the capital and you're a business person, you're an entrepreneur, you're a serial entrepreneur, and you heard that it's money in this lane and you haven't physically gone out and done this work, you don't know what to do. So like Eminem said, wrapping furniture, knowing that you have to wrap the furniture, knowing what to purchase. Some people go out and purchase 43 gauge shrink wrap. 43 gauge shrink wrap. Some people don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. What's 43 gauge shrink wrap? They don't know the difference between 43 gauge shrink wrap, 50 gauge, 80 gauge shrink wrap. They just go about it cheap as shit. And then the guys are complaining because every time they peel the damn shrink wrap back, it's ripping. It's not even holding on to the damn item because you bought cheap shit shrink wrap. Shouldn't be buying nothing less than 80 gauge shrink wrap. But a person who's just has the money and they're just a serial entrepreneur and they want to invest in a business and hire some guys to go out and do the work, they wouldn't even know that. And then you get the material and properly training a person on how to wrap an item. How do you wrap a dresser? Okay, you lay a blanket down, you pick the dresser up, you set the dresser on the blanket. That's how you wrap in the bottom of the blanket. A guy holds the blanket up on this side, takes tape around it, folds the edges up on the end, goes around it with the tape. Now the bottom is wrapped. You throw a blanket on the top, you fold it, boom, you wrap it around. Then you take your shrink wrap and you go around that. You're wrapping it top and bottom. Some people don't know. I just throw a blanket on the top of it, but then the legs are exposed. So now when they're moving it, the bottom, the wood at the bottom, the legs are getting all scratched up because they didn't wrap it 100%. But a person who's never done it can't train somebody how to do it because they've never done it. Or they took somebody's word. Now you got a person calling you saying their dresser is scratched or their mattress is dirty. How's their mattress dirty? They didn't wrap the mattress. So you dragging a king size mattress down 3 flights of stairs in a high traffic hallway. And every time that mattress touched the ground, it's susceptible to dirt, dust mites, bed bugs, whatever is in that hallway. Because they didn't wrap it. Now they sending you pictures. Look at my mattress. You guys didn't wrap the mattress? No, you didn't tell us to wrap the mattress. We got to wrap the mattress? Y'all done put this person's mattress bare on this goddamn nasty ass truck. Just slid it all from the front of the truck to the back. Did you show them how to wrap a mattress? Experience. These guys ain't telling you none of this. They can't tell you nothing because they ain't did the work. A lot of them ain't did the work because they not physically cut out to do the work. You send one of these guys can't even lift a goddamn ottoman. let alone do 15 stops or do a 3-4 bedroom house move. They not cut out for it. They ain't cut out for it. They ain't cut like that. You can hear by the way they talk. I'm about to start a moving contract too, pretty much doing everything. I could buy a 16-foot box truck. Yeah, you could buy a 16-foot box truck because like I said in the video, think small, earn big. First truck I bought was a 16-footer. Made a killing with 16-footers. A killing. You can make a killing depending on your market just doing up to 1 bedroom. Anything up to a 1 bedroom. And that's another thing. Outside of curbside final mile, I know I talked about moving. I know a lot of people didn't do it. The people who slowly coming around doing the moving, they coming in my lives telling me, man, you right. That moving money different. They getting my coaching sessions. Man, that moving money ain't no joke. You were right. I wish I'd have listened to you sooner. It's some hard work, but man, it's very rewarding after the job is done. Some guys are just doing labor only. Man, we booked a labor only move. I didn't even need a truck. We just loaded their truck and made $825 for 3-4 hours. I've been giving y'all the game. It's just people ain't listening. The people who are listening is a very small percentage. That's why I said 90, 97, 98%. I could tell y'all what to do and I could show you where the money at, but it ain't going to matter because you're not going to do it anyway. You're not going to do it anyway. It's a small percentage that's doing it. And then you tell me some bullshit that, well, it's just not easy transition. How the hell is not? Just do it. Yes, so yes, you can make money doing small moves with a 16-foot box truck. You can do anything up to a 1 bedroom. Once you become skilled, you can tackle a 2 bedroom in a 16-foot truck, but you need to be skilled because you need to know how to really pack the truck. You know, you have some standard 2 bedrooms, and then you have some 2 bedrooms where a person may, not necessarily a hoarder, but it may be a larger 2 bedroom. So now you may get in it tight, but if you're a skillful packer, right, you can put a 2-bedroom into a 16-foot truck. All right. But that comes with a certain type of skill, and that takes experience and knowledge, and you get that over time. So if you go out and get a 16-foot box truck, I would do anything from 1-item deliveries up to a 1-bedroom apartment move. And you could do 3 of those a day comfortably. Start your first move at 7, 8, a 1-bedroom. I don't care if it's a third to a third. It shouldn't take you more than 4 hours. All right. You start your first move at 7 or 8. You should be starting your second move sometime between noon and 2. You should be starting your third move sometime between 4 and 6. Now, if you follow my blueprint, coming in, you charge $100 an hour for 2 guys with a $100 truck fee in your local area, and you run 3 jobs at a 2-hour minimum, that's $900 a day. You're paying your worker $25 an hour per job. That's $150 he's getting, and he's going to guarantee to make at least $100 in tips. Moving jobs, they tip you. They tip you on moving jobs. So even if he makes $20, each job, he's making over $200 a day. Shout out to OTR Ray for the super. Appreciate you. So that's over 200 he's making. He's making 150 for you. He's guaranteed to make tips. All moving jobs, 95% of the moving jobs tip. And they tip well. So now you make 900. It costs you 150. So now you're at 750. You're doing 3 local moves. You might spend $50 a day in fuel. $700. Now you add in, if you're paying for your truck, your fixed costs, and your other little bullshit variable costs, you're making over $500 a day. You're making over 50%. Why? Because there's no middleman. And this is what I've been telling people the whole time. There's no middleman. If there was a middleman, they would be taking 50% of that. You see a lot more of your money. Yeah, it's harder work, but you see a lot more money. And that's with a 16-foot truck. You get a 26-foot box truck and you really get skill. That money that some of these OTR guys is running across country to make in 5-6 days, burning miles up. Go do you a 4-bedroom house move. You make that $4,000-$5,000 in a day. It's going to cost you about 14-15 hours out your day. But you're going to make that $4,000-$5,000. Why? Because you're charging $300 an hour. Or more, depending on how many guys. You got 6 guys, you charging more than that. Plus the truck fee. You do a 4-bedroom house move. Now you're getting the charging for, I can show you how to charge for materials on a 20% markup. You charging them for each item you wrap, plus the roller shrink wrap. You buy a case of moving tape, it costs you the case. You get 36 rolls in a case, averages out to about $3 a roll. You charge $10 a roll. When you see them moving companies, when you're driving down the street, you see a person moving in your building, they hire a real professional moving company, not like some hustlers, like a real company. You be like, God damn, why they use so much tape? You see tape all rich rate. Yeah, because they running up that material cost. That's a trick, but see, y'all ain't ready for that. I'll show you how to get the material money on a 20% markup later. I'll show you how to get that later. Then you really start making a killing. You charge them for the labor, you charge them the truck fee, then you charge them material cost. You don't include that into the truck fee when you're dealing with them big moves, because guess what? Big move, they got big money. You're doing something that they don't want to do themselves. They got 4 bedrooms. They got an entertainment room with the living room. They got patio furniture. They got shit all in the garage. You got to tell them, man, the lawnmower, sir, you got to dump the fuel out the lawnmower. We can't transport the lawnmower with the fuel. Snow blower, sir, you got to dump the fuel out. The snow blower, they got goddamn bicycles and shit, bicycles that don't flat tires. The kids done grew up. Each bike you bought them, they don't want to throw the bike out. You got tricycles all the way up to 26-inch mountain bikes, 6 and 7 bikes you got to put on the truck. Patio furniture, 125 boxes. California King mattress, big heavy California King, that big heavy one. Take 3 people to get it down and up the goddamn stairs. And guess what? All that stuff got to get wrapped. You might run through 4-5 rolls of shrink wrap, a case of tape, and a bunch of hours. I've been telling you where the money was at. It's just y'all ain't gonna go do what it takes to get it. Y'all don't want to work hard. You want to go dock to dock and waste 5 days out your life driving cross country and complaining about it the whole time you're doing it because you really don't want to do it in the first place. But I got subscribers. I had a subscriber I did a coaching session with Sunday. And he's probably been my most, I don't want to say, he's probably booked me the most. He's always constantly wanting to learn. And I think I had something set that if you book so many coaching sessions, you get one for free. I think I had it set up like that. And I didn't realize because he just popped up and I'm like, damn, I didn't see no money come in, but I just gave it to him anyway because he books a session all the time. So I'm like, man, I ain't tripping. Yeah, don't worry about it. He was a middle mile guy. Now he's doing curbside final mile and moving. And now he like, man, I heard you mention the junk removal business. Now I got a contract we've been doing since we did the moving. We was in the building. And they said, man, the junk guy, they was using whatever, man, we looking to do that. And I heard you say you did the junk removal thing for a short stint. Man, I need all the information on that. He asked me about the evictions. What about evictions? Because I got one for an eviction. And I was honest with him. I said, man, I steer clear from evictions. It's too much shit. And and this is from experience. And everything that I hit him with, he was like, damn, I didn't think about that. That's why I came to you. He's just looking at the money aspect of it. But I'm going to tell you, yeah, the money aspect of it is here. I'm going to tell you the pros and I'm going to tell you the cons. You want to deal with evictions? I'm going to tell you what come along with evictions. I'm going to tell you why we stopped doing them a long time ago. But the sheriff going to be there, but that don't mean you still going to get cussed out. You're taking someone's shit out of their crib and setting it on the lawn. All while they're looking at you. Then you're going to come across that one where it's going to be 2 or 3 little snotty-nosed kids, and they're going to be heading their head down. You're going to be bringing out their bunk bed, and you're going to be tossing their shit out. And then they crying and shit. The whole time the mother cussing you out, the boyfriend threatening, talking about he finna come shoot everybody up. Now, I know I'm in Chicago. The market is different. It's a little bit rougher here. You dig what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's still something that you got to deal with. You're putting your workers in that uncomfortable environment because it's a touchy environment. You're throwing people's shit out. Yeah, they're paying you to do it, but I don't want to put people in an uncomfortable environment because it's uncomfortable as far as threatening wise, right? But then again, like I said, you're tossing people's shit out. And not everybody is negligent. Some people just come upon hard times and they've done everything right. They might have lost their job and they're just up on bad luck. And you're taking their shit and setting it on the curb. And then you see the little kid crying, throwing their toys out. Not something I want to do. And I explained to him from that aspect. He was like, man, I didn't even think about none of that. That's why I come to you, because you got the experience. The sheriff is just there to make sure they don't jay down on you. So let me get this OTRA. Okay, thanks. I plan to hire 2 to 3 helpers. I was asking because unemployment insurance is one of the things listed on the onboarding packet. Yeah, so if you're gonna hire them and you're gonna pay them W-4, then yeah, you gotta have unemployment. So that's something that, like I said, I wouldn't do that on your own because you have to keep up with those quarterlies. That unemployment is going to come out every quarter. That's not something that's done every year. It comes out quarterly. So my advice to you is getting you're gonna have to budget in an accountant. Let them handle that. Let them handle that. They're gonna be on top of that. And at the end of every quarter, the only thing they're gonna mail you is a statement that's gonna show you how much is coming out for unemployment insurance, and that's gonna be your Medicaid, Social Security, and all that stuff. Everything that comes out for your employees quarterly is gonna tell you the date that they're gonna withdraw that money. Is gonna tell you how much. That's it. The CPA has already done the heavy lifting for you. That way you can't mess up on it. You can't miss it. You can't get behind on it. You don't want to play with unemployment. You don't want to play with unemployment, and you don't want to play with child support. If you get an employee that has child support, when you get that letter, it's more work you got to do. It's your responsibility to withdraw whatever they're telling you to withdraw and mail it to them. And you got 7 days to mail it to them every pay period. And if you don't mail them their money in 7 days, then they're going to start charging you $100 a day for every day it's late. So get a CPA, let them handle that, and just budget paying a CPA to handle that for you so you can focus on other things. That's something that you want to outsource. It's something you want to outsource and not worry about it. Just see the money come out at the end of every quarter. So quarter ends January through March. March 31st is the last quarter. So what happens is it goes through accounting 30 days. So quarter one ends March 31st. That money is going to come out your account April 30th. April, May, June. June ends the second quarter. That money is going to come out July 31st, and so on and so forth. Let me see. All right, you gonna be on the truck? All good. Kevin Burke, Chi-Town representing. Rob still in the building. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Rob. Hey Rob, I still gotta call you. I ain't forgot. I just been busy. I'm gonna get up with you. Still working out some particulars. Hi, Mark. RNL is asking for 9 months active authority before onboarding in the Philadelphia and New Jersey area. I thought you should know. So Ibrahim says in New Jersey and Philadelphia, RNL is asking for 9 months. So in Philly and Jersey, RNL wants 9 months. So the people who hit me up today for the video that I released earlier that said RNL, there was a few people that hit me up that said RNL said they don't do box trucks. And I told you they do. Here's more proof that they do outside of the people that are in here that are running for RNL with their box trucks. All right. Shout out to Fat and Furious in the building. Shout out to Eminem. 16-foot box truck can hold between 800 and 1,000 square feet. You got to have a reason you want the 1 million, a purpose, how you want to make that 1 million, because as soon as you hit it, you're going to want to quit. Also, 1 million has expenses that's going to be deducted. All right, so let me talk about it, because I've talked about it before in the past, but I haven't talked about it recently. That's a good point. That's something I should have probably talked about. So real quick before I get out of here, $1 million, my first $1 million cost me 800 grand. What do you mean? You paid 800 grand to make $1 million, right? So that year that I grossed $1 million, I spent 800,000. So as that money was coming in, 80% of it was going back out. 80%. So when I say it cost me 800 grand, that's with everything, including me paying myself. So the business was cash flow positive 200 grand at the end of the year. All right. So 800 grand, that's expenses, that's maintenance, that's fuel, that's whatever. If I bought lunch or coffee for the office, tires, repairs, dog food for the pit bulls, whatever it was needed, light bulbs, copy paper, whatever, cleaning supplies, all the expenses, vehicle leases, whatever expenses the business had cost me 800 grand. All right. So the business was cash flow positive 200. All right. Um, so when you're making that type of money, especially in this business, it's a small profit margin business. Now, 20% margin is really, really high. And I think I talked about it before. The reason I was able to, you know, operate at a 20% margin is because I did a lot of shit myself. Rob was in here. I remember the story, Rob, when you and Henry, it was New Year's Eve. I forget what year that was, but y'all was in truck one, and that truck broke down on New Year's Eve. And I knew I was bogus, and maybe I wasn't bogus. No, I wasn't bogus. When it was New Year's Eve, and I couldn't get a truck to tow y'all back because I think y'all was out by Bolingbrook. I had to go to the store, buy a battery. I think me and Stack drove out there. Somebody drove out there. We had to swap the battery out, and we had to pray that the battery that we got from AutoZone was charged up enough that they would make it back to the yard. But they sat in that truck on New Year's Eve, and it was cold outside. It took me about 4-5 hours to get there because I was in the office, and I couldn't find nobody to tow the truck back. It was New Year's Eve. And the people who wanted to tow the truck back was trying to charge me an arm and a leg. So they had to thug it out, and I had to thug it out, and that's how I spent my New Year's Eve. I remembered that after Rob came on the show. And salute to you, Rob and Henry, for that doing that year. But that's what it took, because I think they was trying to charge me $1,000 to tow that truck back. So I had to go out there and do it myself. And by the grace of God, I had two people that was willing to thug it out and sit out there in that cold weather until I got out there. It was far. I think they was out there either coming from IKEA or the truck stalled out on them going to IKEA. The battery just died out. And that was Rob. That's in here right now. And that's how I was able to operate at a 20% margin, because I did a lot of shit myself. I remember one time this knucklehead got a truck stuck in the alley. I tried my best to pull that truck out the alley with my pickup truck. Just couldn't get the traction, didn't have a long enough winch. They were stuck halfway through the alley after the blizzard of 2015. These retards went through the alley to do a delivery. Why? The alley wasn't plowed. Yeah, you was able to push through the alley, but now the truck been sitting here for 30, 45 minutes while you making the delivery. Without the momentum, once y'all get back in the truck to go, the truck ain't gonna go nowhere. So now the tire's spinning on ice. They had to sit there. I wanted to pull the truck myself because I knew how much it was gonna cost to get that truck winched. I went up there, me and Stack went up there to try to pull that truck out, dig it out, do everything. We couldn't do it. I had to call. But the point I'm trying to make is I tried to do it on my own to save the money. It cost me $600 to get them winched out the alley. It took 3 trucks. It took 3 trucks because it was a blizzard. People's cars were snowing in. People would park all the way to the end of the alley. So once they winched the car, pulled it from the middle of the alley to the end of the alley, the truck had to turn out of the alley. But because there was a car parked across the street and the car was parked all the way to the edge, they couldn't turn the truck. It couldn't make the turn because it would have took somebody's bumper off. So these guys illegally, he called 2 more tow trucks. I remember tell you the company, Dark Angel Towing. 2 more tow trucks pulled up. He said, man, we can't make the turn. We ain't going to be able to pull it and turn them out. It was 3 Mexicans. He said, man, we're going to have to move these cars in order to get this truck out and around the alley. The one Mexican who was, I guess, the head guy, he looked, he surveyed it. He said, fuck it, move them. Illegally move those cars because they knew this was a big ticket, excuse my language. They knew this was a big ticket pull. They wanted the money. They illegally moved those cars out the way to get my truck out. Told them, called 2 more tow trucks, towed those cars out to the end of the street. The tow truck hooked my truck up now, turned the corner with it, pulled me to the edge. Then those other trucks backed those cars back and dropped them where they was at. Charged me $600. I tried to save that money as much as I could. I was out there digging, shoveling, putting salt down, putting 2x4s under the wheel. I didn't want to spend that money. But ultimately, that's how I was able to get to a 20% margin, because a lot of things that a lazy person would do, or a person at that point who I think probably at that point, I probably was at 15 trucks at that point and had money. We just call a company, call a tow truck. No, I was saving as much money as possible. I'm like, I got a warehouse. Why am I sending these trucks to the truck wash for? Man, I went to Menards. I bought me a power washer, and every holiday, when we were off and the office was closed, Memorial Day, I spent my Memorial Day washing all the trucks. I would get up there 6, 7 in the morning. Each truck, pull it up one by one, power wash the truck on the outside, open up the back of the truck, take all the blankets off, take all the equipment off, power wash the wall, power wash the floor. You know, when you going on and off the truck got wood floors, the wood would turn black from all that dirt. You power wash, you ripping all that dirt up. Wood look like brand new. I would do every truck. I spend my whole day on Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. After Labor Day, I didn't wash the trucks no more. The trucks had to thug it out through the winter until Memorial Day again. It was the winter anyway. It's snow, it's salt, whatever. So I would wash the trucks 3 times a year. Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. I would do it myself all day. Why? Because all these trucks, I'm spending whatever it was at that time to send them to the truck wash. I just spend $300 on a power washer and do it myself. So even when you make $1 million, ultimately you got to keep the money. You got to try to keep as much of it as possible. So you're still working. So even at the height of your success, grossing a lot of money a month, fleet of trucks, you're still working. Because now you've made the money, you've seen the success. So I could do a whole nother live just talking about maintaining. Now you got to maintain what you done grew to. So the work don't never stop. So stop letting people sell you bullshit about not working hard. You work hard to get what you're trying to get out of it. So that you can have what you need when you execute your exit strategy. The worst thing you could do is see money, see success, and don't have shit to show for it. And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier, money management. You got some people that don't never get to that $1 million because they spending the money as soon as they see it with their success from their first box truck. And then you have some people that have the discipline to grow, right? And they do scale, and now they're seeing just a magnitude of money, right? And then they just wild out. So instead of the guy who's seeing a little success and he go out and do the goofball and buy the CL Benz, the person who had that discipline and grew, they go out and do dumb shit. Yeah, you can reward yourself, but just don't overdo it once you scale up and you see success. When you're able to afford to reward yourself, just don't overdo it. You can go get you a nice car. You could take you a trip every now and again. But you know, some people want to go on stupid shopping sprees every week. They want to stand on somebody's couch every night. They want to pop the most expensive bottles every single night. And you know, some people, they got a tricking problem. They want to trick off. So even when you do see the success, you still got to maintain it. So I'm in Arizona right now, man, but I can't have cargo insurance because I'm planning to rent the box truck. Angela said they need them. That's why I want to buy the truck, and I got skills for the job. You said you can't have cargo insurance because I'm planning to rent? Well, if you're going to be licensed, you're going to need cargo insurance. So I don't know, man. You might have to rewrite that, or, you know, I'm going to drop the link real quick, you know, I meant to do it earlier. Let me see here. Where's that at? Or you might have to rephrase it or come up and say what you need to say. I believe Mark, best information on YouTube, no bullshit. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I remember one time worked straight 27 hours. It was local move, but it was worth it. I remember I had a move. I wasn't on it though. It was a guy. It was a crew. It was their last move in the evening. I think they probably started at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. They didn't finish it's like 6, 7 in the next morning. No cap. No cap. They didn't finish it till 6, 7 the next morning. They weren't tripping. I just knew that they weren't gonna be good to work the next day. They wanted to thug it out. This is a crew that they was looking at the end result. They was looking at that money. They was like, man, this is gonna take all night. I'm like, man, y'all need more. Nah, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. Because they knew how much money it was gonna bring. It's just we ain't gonna be able to work tomorrow. I'm saying, well, y'all do it then, don't worry. I'm like, y'all don't need no help. It's like, nah, you cool. And I'm checking on. I'm feeling bad I'm feeling bad. They like, nah, we cool. We finna milk this for everything. They know this. They bogus. This a bogus move. But man, we finna get this money. These the type of people that you need to find and hire. Some killers. You need killers on your team. If you ain't got no killers, you ain't gonna never get to the money no way. If you got a bunch of lazy people and you lazy, you ain't gonna never see no money. Yo,
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
what's good? What's good?
Man, I've been working for a company.
You been what?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear a bunch of kids too in the background or the TV or
Oh, okay.
something.
Okay. Yeah,
Hey,
can you hear me now?
shout out to Rob. Rob will tell you about the killers. You need killers on your squad. Yeah, I hear you. Not you, Rob, but another Rob that's in the chat. But what's going on? I hear you.
Yeah,
Oh no, that's not your name, man, Rob.
I'm planning to buy a bus truck for my moving company.
Uh-huh.
I would like to know what you're suggesting, like the mark.
What's my suggestion as far as
Yeah,
what?
for the mark.
For what type of truck or what size
Yeah,
truck? Well, if you just starting off, I would start with a 16 footer. I wouldn't jump to 26. I would start with a 16 footer and I would focus on small moves, anything from one item deliveries up to a 1 bedroom apartment. And then once you figure like you mastered that, then you can get a 2 bedroom apartment in there. And then if you want to keep scaling from there, then maybe I would go flirt with a 26-foot box truck and tackle bigger moves. But I would start with a 16-foot box truck. You can be very, very profitable with a 16-foot box truck, just focusing on small moves.
but I'm thinking about I need a broker like Angie, so he can give me more.
You want to do a broker? You don't have to do a broker. You can go on Thumbtack, you can go on Angie's List, you can go on Craigslist, you can do Google Ads. I wouldn't. You don't need a broker for moving. That's the whole point. You don't need a broker. You have with moving, you can create a direct line to the consumer and make 100% of the revenue. Why would you go through a broker when they're taking 50% and you doing all the hard work? When there's avenues out here that can generate leads for you for a small amount where you can make 100% of the revenue.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, bro, and I'll keep you updated when I did it.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you for
Thank you.
tuning in. All right. Yep. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. No problem, OTRA. Is it possible to turn my van into a moving business? That would be the first set of skills I need to learn. Yeah, I got a subscriber, Big Zoe, that got a van and he been doing small moves. He said he listened to my content. He working with what he got. He said he been doing small moves in his van. He said he made $2,000 in 2 days out his van. He said it took multiple trips and he was upfront with the consumers that he had a van, but yet and still he went to work Thumbtack. He used my code, right? He used my code on Thumbtack. He got the credit to get him started, and he been running up the bag. So yeah, you can start doing moves with a van. You're just gonna do small moves. You're gonna focus on deliveries. You're gonna focus on small deliveries and small moves, dorm room, studio moves, and small deliveries. I talked about the $99 couch deliveries that I used to do. Big Zoe picked up all the sauce, even the sauce that I didn't expound on. He came on this live a few weeks ago and was telling me stuff he picked on that I forgot I said online. He's like, man, I picked up on the 99. I heard you mention the $99 couch deliveries. I incorporated that, and the more I've been doing $99 couch deliveries. You can make a lot of money with just a van. You can do more jobs on a smaller scale with a van. I remember doing couch. I used to have a truck just did couch deliveries all day. There was so many couch pickup and deliveries, picking them up from IKEA, dropping them off, picking them up from this person, taking it to this person. I'm in a big market. People move, they sell their couch. People want new furniture, they sell their couch. I'm reincorporating my whole den into another studio. I'm finna build out a new studio. I got a den sleeper sofa in here, and I'm finna take a picture and list to sell. So people, there's nothing wrong with it because I don't sleep in the den. You know what I'm saying? It's just here because it's a den sleeper sofa. But I don't have a use for it. I'm finna repurpose this room. So just like how I'm gonna take a picture and post it, and somebody say they want to buy it, but then they don't have the means, they go on Craigslist or they go on Thumbtack. Man, I need a couch picked up. Downtown area of Chicago, I need it taken to Lincoln Park, or I need to take it to Rogers Park. So they're gonna pay me for the couch, and then they're gonna pay somebody else with a cargo van $100 to come pick it up, wrap it up, move it out, put it in the van, and take it 8 miles to Rogers Park and bring it in their house. So in this market, it's people selling their furniture all the time. It's people buying and selling used furniture all the time. And that's where you make a killing at. Especially now, this is the time. You might have your first job might be a couch pickup and delivery. Your second job, man, I bought some stuff at IKEA, but they telling me they can't deliver it until Saturday. Man, I need it picked up today. Can you come to IKEA in Boulderbrook? Yeah, I can come get it. You go out to IKEA, you pick that stuff up, you drop that stuff off. Next thing you know, my mom's giving me her table. Can you pick the table up? You go pick the table up, you take the legs off, you put it in the van, you go drop that off. Man, I bought a treadmill from Dick's Sporting Goods. It's in a box. Can you go to the receiving area and pick it up and bring it here? You go pick up the treadmill. You could do 7. Now that you can do 10 jobs like that a day. Bandman, what he was talking about, you're not doing 10 moves a day. You could do 10 pickup and deliveries in a day. Depending on how dense your route is. If you got a real dense route and everything's like within the city, pickup and delivery, you could do 10 of those. You're not doing 10 moves though. Especially like he said, if you're getting up at 8 o'clock, you too late. 8 o'clock, job should be at its first stop. Either just starting or been there already an hour. So yeah, you can get money with your van. No problem. What mark box truck should buy mark? Depend. If you was the person who was just on here, get you a 16 footer. Shout out to DJ GT King. Appreciate you for chiming in. Appreciate you for chiming in. Definitely killers. Definitely need some killers. Especially with moving final mile delivery, you can't get no soft people. You need killers on your squad. You got to be a killer too. If you ain't a killer, you got to make yourself a killer. You got to make yourself a killer. Rob will tell you he in here. You need killers. And that's why a lot of cats ain't doing this. And that's why I said I can show you where the money is at. I've been showing you where the money at. This ain't cut out for everybody. It's not cut out for everybody. So people can laugh and they can show you now Amazon and all that shit that people was bragging on last year, middleman and all that shit ain't cutting it no more. The shit that people was laughing at, where the real money is at, a lot of people are converting over to it now. And now they converting, they seeing this is where the real money is at. And guess what? You know what? The work ain't so bad. It's tough work, but it's very, 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 very rewarding at the end of the day. But if you plan on jumping into this lane, final mile, or moving, you're going to need you some killers. And that goes back to what I talked about when we talked about knowledge, experience, capital, and people. The experience and the knowledge, you're going to get that with doing hard work. If you get the knowledge and experience and you appropriate your funds correctly, you're gonna have the capital. The people is gonna always be the hardest thing to obtain. Getting the people, keeping the people. Sourcing the people, retaining the people. And the best people is gonna be the killers. Literally. No, I'm just joking, but literally. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, this ain't for the weak. It ain't for the weak, man. No, it is what it is. Hit that like button too, man. How many likes we got, man? I need a like check, like check, like check. Hit that like button, hit that like button. Mark, can you give me a tip on my question? What's your question? I think I answered your question with the van. I think I answered your question with the van. But yeah, start out with Thumbtack. Use my code. Use my code for Thumbtack. Matter of fact, I guess I'll drop my code real quick. Hold on. That's Van Man. Let me get Van Man up out of here. Let me give you my code. I'll drop my code for Thumbtack so you can sign up. Hold on. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put my code in the chat for anybody that want to sign up for Thumbtack, and you can get up to $200. You can get up to $200 using my code. Credit. All right. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. Do these curbside final mile companies have routes for reefer units? No, the curbside final mile contracts that I talk about are mostly dry goods. They're all dry goods. They're all dry goods. And to be honest with you, I could be wrong. I could be ignorant, but I don't think there's a such thing as a curbside reefer, because if it's reefer, it's refrigerated. That's got to go inside because it's got to go directly to a refrigeration unit or a freezer. I don't think you can drop anything that's refrigerated at the curb, because a lot of these curbside units that go to, not the ones that go, to businesses, but a lot of the stuff that goes to customers' homes that's curbside, a lot of that stuff sits outside for a little time. I've had jobs, people have booked my moving company to come move things in their home for things that they order online that came via freight that dropped at the curb. People have hired us many times to come move a treadmill in that they ordered from NordicTrack.com directly, and it's ran middle mile to the curb. They won't bring it in. They drop the pallet with the treadmill at the curb, and it's sitting at the curb when you get there. Sometimes a day later. So no, I think reefer, and I could be wrong. I just sensibly thinking about it, I don't think you can drop a reefer pallet at a curb because it's sitting outside. That stuff has to go straight from the refrigerated truck straight into a freezer, a walk-in freezer, or a walk-in refrigeration unit. So I don't think so. I just dropped my link for Thumbtack. You can use my link if you want. Right now, if you got a truck, get it passed to go on your nearest Army base and drop a flyer. You just drop some sauce for y'all. Can you do Find Them Out with a Twit card? Yes, you can. You can just click it. The link is clickable. You should just click it and then just save it. Save it to your notepad. If you're on your phone, just click it. It's a clickable link. Facts, bro. It's a real grind. What route did you take to hire enough killers? Well, for me, I started with just people in the neighborhood, man. That's the easiest way to go. And it's like I always say, guys, I don't want people to think that my journey and the way I was able to scale is going to be everybody's journey. I always reiterate, guys, I'm in a big market. So, I know some people hear my story and they listen to my lives and they get inspired and they get motivated. But some things that were challenges for me may not be challenges for you. Some things that came easy for me may be a challenge for you. It was always easy for me to get people because I started with people in the neighborhood. There's enough people in the neighborhood that's not working. So with starting with those people, bringing them in, giving them a job, paying them really well, it was like a snowball effect. Once these guys start coming back to the neighborhood and bragging about how much money they was making with Mark and how these people was tipping them a lot of money on these moves, more people from the neighborhood started to inquire. And more people that was working for me was bringing other people in. Not even from my neighborhood, from other neighborhoods now. Mark, I got somebody who want to work. 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 Rob in here, he'll tell you. I didn't have to go out and look for nobody. You know, back then there was no such thing as Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all these apps and all this stuff. It was work or be broke. And felons didn't have no other alternative. They had to do labor intensive work. Lawn work, moving, delivery. And nothing else paid like moving and delivery for a felon. Because you're making a premium dollar amount per hour and you're getting tips. So it was easy for me to find people because I hired everybody that nobody else wanted. And once the word got around that you come work for Mark, he's gonna pay you good and you're gonna get good tips at the end of the day. That's all she wrote. But I had killers working for me. Literally, like these guys, when I was scaling, was killers. Literally. These guys was cut. I had a guy, KT. This dude was 50 years old. Could outwork a 30-year-old. You wouldn't even know he was 50. One of my coldest movers. And he was one of them guys, he didn't want to talk to the customer. He didn't want to do the invoices. He didn't want to deal with the money. Only thing he wanted to do was come and move. He didn't want to be a leader on the truck. He didn't want to do none of that. Come to work, move people, get paid. That's it. Didn't cause me no problems. He was a no-nonsense guy, killer. For real. These are the type of guys that were no nonsense. They was going to come to work, get the job done. They weren't finna play no games on or off the truck. These guys are solid dudes. You can't get no wimpy type dude to do this type of work. Because this job ain't for the faint of heart. So when I say killers, I mean killers. You know what I'm saying? Which one is better, Angie's List or Thumbtack? Thumbtack. I hire a lot of them, don't be killers. I hire a lot, but a lot of them don't be killers. But yes, it's a grind. Everybody don't want it. That's a blessing to bring them up. I pay well also, especially to those who want it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You got to pay well, man, in this industry if you want to retain people, especially with the movie. You make so much money because it's a premium service, you know, so you can pay exceptionally well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That takes a lot of trust to trust those killers, and not a lot of business in the industry will hire them. You're an inspiration to them and they trusted you. Well done, Mark. You're a Chi-Town icon. Yeah, appreciate that. But it's just like when the two episodes with Rob, he came on, he a 3-time felon. A lot of these guys is well respected in the street. And I'm ruling this business with an iron fist. I'm tough. I'm in a tough market and I'm dealing with tough people. I got guys that's done years for attempts. And when they mess up, I got to stand on them. Yeah, I done been nose to nose with some people. But man, with certain types of people, you got to run the business a certain type of way. But these are the people that's going to go do the hard work that a lot of other people not going to go do. So that goes back to what I was talking about earlier too. Like people who want to come into this business and they don't want any aspects of the truck, whether it be women or male investor. You're never going to get the respect with the type of people that are going to be on these trucks doing this type of work. The type of person that does this type of work is a certain type of person. And you have to have their respect, but they're never going to respect you if you're not cut out and willing to get out there and do it yourself. And that's why you had people in here a few weeks ago talking about, man, my people don't respect me, my workers don't respect me, the woman. And me and Pippi was telling her, you're gonna have to hire a guy to run your business for you. And if you a male and you ain't out here doing the work, and you got these types of guys, these hardened guys, they already hardened from the street. And then they're doing this physical labor. And then at the end of the day, you want to try to reprimand them on something, man, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. They ain't gonna have no respect for you because you ain't did the work. They respect the work and the grind. Yeah, so you scratch the floor. So how are we going to talk about it? Man, I ain't paying that, man. You ain't taking shit out my check. Well, man, you know the policy, man. You get your ass out here and do it. They ain't going to respect you. You can't take somebody's money for messing something up if you never trained them on how to do it. Or you ain't going to get your ass out there and do it yourself. You can't jade out on somebody like that. And that's why I say, I be trying to say it the nice way to people, you know, because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But listen, it's a certain type of person that's going to do this type of work. And this person is going to want they respect. And you can't play with these people. If they're going to give you the work, if they're going to put the work in, they got to respect you too. You can't play with them like that. So it is what it is. Yeah, then hire killers, dealers, but no stealers. Right. Then you got to make sure they know no thieves. So I've never had a problem with thieving. No problem with thieving. So I don't mind what your background is. The only one of the main things that I would look for on a background is theft. If you have any type of theft, then you can't work for me. You can't work for me. Any type of theft, because I don't know what type of houses running Final Mountain movie. You don't know whose house you're going into. We've had celebrities book under aliases before. Professional athletes book under aliases. Last year we moved Tim Anderson for the Chicago White Sox. The star player on the Chicago White Sox booked the move under an alias. I was on this move last year. We doing the move. I didn't know who this guy was. I don't watch baseball. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch baseball. We didn't know who he was, and nobody else on the truck watched baseball. We didn't know who he was until we got to the storage unit, and it was pallets of these bobbleheads and all other type of white stock stuff, and we looking at him and looking at. Wait a minute, hold on, Tim Anderson. Get to Googling and shit. Wait a minute, that's you. Yeah, I'm Tim Anderson from the Chicago White Sox. Booked it under an alias. This dude got all type of shit. Retro sneakers, Yeezy sneakers, Red Octobers, $1,000 sneakers and stuff. And what's funny about that move, he had us and another moving company. He had my company doing one project. He had another moving company doing another project. He had them moving the furniture because he was finna go off the training cap. He had us moving just sneakers and other stuff. A truck full of sneakers. So the point is, you don't know whose house you're going into. You have to make sure you hire people that you can trust. I remember it was a job, a customer called the office and asked to speak to the owner, and they passed the call through me in. And she said, man, I just wanted to thank you. Man, you have a real solid, trustworthy crew. I just want to make sure, it's white people. They like to go above and beyond to let you know either something bad or something good. But in this case, it was something good, that you got a real trustworthy crew. I had money stashed around the house. I had an envelope of money stashed behind a drawer, and I had a bunch of $100 bills under my mattress, between my mattress and my box spring that I forgot about. They found both and brought both to me. They flipped the mattress over to wrap it. It was $100 bills. They brought it to me, and I had a envelope full of money that came out the dresser when they took the drawers out to wrap it or whatever they did, and they gave me that a bunch of money, thousands of dollars, and they gave me everything back. I gave each one of them $100 bill, and I just wanted to let you know how lucky you are to have such a trustworthy crew. Because my negligence would have costed me. I got money stashed all over this house that I forget about, and they gave me. So yeah, you want to make sure that you have a trustworthy crew that's going into people's homes, because you don't know. You know, you got people with diamond rings laying around, iPhones, iPads, all type of stuff, money that they got stashed, guns. I was on a job last year. This dude cleaned out the whole closet. I saw a box on the top shelf. I got it down. It was an M&P Shield 9 gun. Gave him his gun. It was another move we did last year where it was a gun in the drawer. You know, so people are negligent. They forget about certain things they have stashed. You know, moving is a very stressful time for people. So people's heads are all over the place when they move. Y'all in here that do moving, y'all know what I'm talking about. People be stressed out on moving day. So they forget these things. So you got to make sure you have trustworthy people that when they come across things, they give them back, you know? All right, so this has been a very educational live. I started at 7:30. It's 10:30. I gave y'all 3 hours of sauce. I think the likes are good. I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody learned something. $1 million is very obtainable, and it's very easy to obtain if you focus on experience, gaining experience, as you're out working, doing the hard work, consuming knowledge, never stop learning. If this is what you want to do, regardless of the lane that you're in, you can't stop learning. Don't get comfortable. Keep obtaining and consuming knowledge. Money takes money, all right? But when I talk about capital, I want you really to focus on appropriating that money as it's coming in. When you start seeing profit, appropriating that money right. Don't go out and do dumb shit. Appropriate that money because it takes money in order to scale. All right. So do right by the money. Invest heavily what you can. Sacrifice. Investing heavily comes with an enormous amount of sacrifice. The things that you want will come later on down the line. The bigger goal during the growing process is to scale aggressively, and that takes a lot of sacrifice because you're reinvesting as much money as you can back into the business to ultimately scale. And then the most important thing is people. Finding, sourcing the right people, training the right people. Keyword on training. That's something else I talk about in my coaching sessions. A lot of people, you know, don't talk about training. You got to train people. And if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you need to find somebody to train you so that you can train them. In order to hold somebody accountable, you have to train them to your standards, your business standards. Because the only thing they can say is you didn't show me how. And if you didn't show them how, then you can't fault them for anything. So stop coming to me, talk about you want to start a business and you don't want to get out on the truck and all that shit. You got to train. If you can't train, you need to find somebody to train them. And I'm talking to everybody that comes to me about that shit. This is a very high liability driven business. It's a lot of liability in this business. The margins are already small in this industry. So you have to keep your claims to a minimum. You have to keep your mistakes to a minimum. And the number one way to do that is to train, keep training, and more training. And like I said, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you need to have somebody train you so you can train somebody else. Because it's your fault if you don't train these people on your standards of way of doing things. Person come to me, I send them out and they go do some goofball shit. And I'm like, why did you do that? I didn't train you how to do that. Dre didn't train you how to do that. Rob didn't train you how to do that. I know why. You know how I know they didn't train you how to do that? Because I trained them. So guess what? You gonna pay for that. Because you know you're supposed to rap that. Did you rap it? No, I wasn't rap, Mark. All right, well then you know you gotta pay for it. That's why I got damaged. Why you didn't rap it? Or they hit me some bullshit, man. The customer said don't rap it. Don't worry about it. So you gonna listen to what the customer say? Because the customer told you don't wrap it, but now the customer's filing a claim saying you damaged their dressing. And they told you some bullshit. Man, you the professional. So just because I told you don't wrap it, I mean you supposed to do it. You listen to the customer trying to hurry up and get through the job. So now it's going to cost you a new dresser. Because my protocol is wrap the dresser. I don't care what the customer say. The customer ain't right. Stop. Don't let nobody tell you bullshit. The customer's always right. Not in this industry, they not. Because if they were right, then they would go rent a U-Haul and they do the shit the goddamn self. They wouldn't be hiring you to do all this heavy lifting for them. Wrap all the mattresses. Don't put no mattress on my truck without wrapping it. Not just because it's going to get dirty, just because when you inspect it, you might miss a bed bug. So if you do miss a bed bug, at least it's wrapped in the plastic and it's not getting out, multiplying in my truck. And if you do see any signs of bed bug, you call the office immediately and we're declining that move. Every single mattress is wrapped. Don't let me get a call about an unwrapped mattress. My mattress dirty. What? You didn't wrap this mattress? All right, I'm charging you for the cleaning of the truck and I'm charging you for the mattress. Why? Because wrap every mattress. I don't care what the customer says. Wrap every mattress, wrap every box spring. Period. Because that's how we trained you to do it. So I can take the money out your check. Because we trained you to do a specific way and you decided to do it your own way. So, people, training people, retaining people, not being cheap, understanding that in order to scale, you got to keep people. So you got to pay them good. It costs more money to keep hiring new people and training them. It's cheaper to hire somebody and retain them and give them a raise here and there. You know the raise is coming, so you already preparing for it anyway. You don't sell yourself short with the customer. This is a premium labor-intensive business. I need my money and I need it all. Well, man, can't you? No, ain't no negotiation. It's $150, $250, $300 an hour, whatever the job entails, how many people. Take it or leave it. Like y'all heard Rob say, 90% of my customer clientele is white. They don't negotiate. They don't come and looking for deals. They want to pay, and they want to pay for a premium service, and they want things to get from point A to point B efficiently, right? And without damage. And that can be a labor-intensive feat, right? So you have to make sure that when you have good qualified people, you pay them handsomely. And you will have longevity with them. And you will ultimately scale. So that's it. I appreciate everybody. Thank you, sir. One of the best on the platform. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that gave a super chat. Shout out to Interstate Screw in the building. Shout out to everybody that hung in there tonight. Tonight was a good live. I think everybody learned something tonight. I will be back Monday for the Wise Men podcast with Kurt. Hit that like button on your way out. Epic live tonight, guys. I appreciate y'all. Peace.